The Therapy Light Solar ESPN Madison Studios edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video momentarily on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and, of course, everything you could possibly want or need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is on assignment.
He's golfing. No, he's playing golf. It's freezing. It's not even nice out. What's he doing?
Alex Strofe, the host of Green Bay Game Day and Mr. Irrelevant and all the other things he does around here. He's also the cousin sub of the day in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison Studios and from his undisclosed location. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I think watching the game last night, the disappointment that I have is just that the Raiders are not a good team. I understood going in that there's going to be games, it's up and down and road games and everything else, but with all of the circumstances as they were, and with the defense playing as well as they did, and I'm not going to sit here. I understand people are frustrated with Joe Barry, but you held Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs under what we all thought that they were going to do. You do all that, and you were in position to win this game, and you didn't. It's disappointing in the fact that you didn't get it done. And when you don't get it done, you should be disappointed. Two things can be true at the same time, but that does not mean you shouldn't be disappointed. And that's a game that the Green Bay Packers should win, and that they needed to win, and they didn't. That's how I look at it.
So oftentimes your gut reaction is portrayed on Green Bay game nights when you join Homer and Gabe. Is your feeling this morning in any way different than what you felt in the immediate aftermath of the game?
So, honestly, I almost went through Kubler last night because I got
Elizabeth.
on it. Gabe asked me for my initial take, and I was trying to say, you know what, it's a young team. And then midway through, I'm kind of like, you know what, no. This wasn't we lost this game because we were young. That wasn't it last night. That's not why you lost. It's not because you were young. You lost last night because Aaron Jones didn't play, and you lost last night because your quarterback was careless with the football. That's why you lost. And I understand, Jordan Love is going to struggle. He's going to have some mistakes. Absolutely. No problem. Even that first interception, which was just god-awful, that happens. I get that. But when you're in this game and you have all these opportunities to win, missed field goal, a doinker, a blocked kick by Yash, you're in that position, you need to win that game. That's part of the building process. We said after Atlanta, and the fourth quarter was it was bad. Yeah, but it was a lesson. You learned. And you know what? They did complete. I said after that game, get that first down. Get the defense on its heels. They did that. And then Romeo Doubs drops one. And I don't know what happened on that play over the middle, if it was Musgrave, I can't recall.
No, Musgrave dropped one, too. But
isn't that
part of the young thing? Isn't that part of the young thing? Clutch moments, being expected to come through, and they drop passes. Like, isn't it the idea of having Ben Sims and Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave be the ones who are helping to try, and emphasis on try because they definitely didn't succeed, to slow down Max Crosby? You played tackle in this league. You had tight ends who knew what the hell they were doing when they were chipping, and then you had guys that were learning how to do it at the NFL level. I mean, Tucker Kraft grabbed a guy by the ankle, and he was like holding on to him. That was one of his blocks. He got called for holding. Like, you really don't think that this is, at least in part, not in its entirety, but in part, inexperienced young guys that have not been in these positions as often as the veteran players who came through again and again and again in the past years? Really?
I'm telling you that that's why they lost, but I don't think we should just sit here and say, oh, yep. That is not a game you should lose. Last night was not one of those, well, you can't make that many mistakes. Like, we all understand there's going to be mistakes. So, yes, but I'm not chalking this up. We're not playing growing pains this morning because you can't be as inefficient as we are on offense. You can't. Aaron Jones needs to get back out there and play. Aaron Jones separates this game, and Green Bay wins by, 10 points if he's out there. That's how much of a difference I think he makes last night. I thought the O-line, I know everybody was all up on Crosby. Yeah, he played a very good game. He's a really good player. I don't think it was pressure on Jordan Love that caused the interceptions. I don't think that's what the big deal was last night. I just don't think we executed at all. I don't know what the game plan was. I think he was trying to figure out, is it going to be A.J. Dillon? You got 2 or 3 defensive backs out. Outside of Max Crosby, they're not a great pass-rushing team. You have Elton Jenkins back. I didn't like the game plan last night. I didn't like how it was executed. I didn't like how the offense looked at all. I didn't like how Jordan Love looked at all. So I'm not going to put this on growing pains. This was a lack of execution. Yeah, they're young. When are we going to start saying, grow up? When are we going to say that? Because I get it. I am not saying that there's not going to be mistakes. There are plenty. Last night there was way too many. Way too many out after coming off of a bye. We can sit here and make all the excuses we want.
I'm not making excuses.
I'm not
for
going
them.
to.
No, come on. You were the same guy who was saying after 2 games that Jordan Love was awesome. Like, let's not ride the wave here. Right? Like, now you're frustrated with them because that is a bad Raiders team with a bad coach and a pedestrian quarterback. I get it.
They give you an opportunity again by kicking a field goal on 4th and 1. They go get a first down. They win the game.
Because the Packers need a touchdown regardless. All it changes is they need the extra point to tie you.
And that's my point on why that's why I can't sit here with all of the opportunities you got. This wasn't Atlanta. I understood it. That was part of the growing.
They played poorly, bud. They just played poorly, and that's what inconsistent young teams do. We can't look. Matt LaFleur told us this. We didn't want to hear it, and we wanted to ignore it. But Matt LaFleur, you know why Matt LaFleur is searching from a game planning perspective? He doesn't know what these guys do well yet. You talk about identity. We still don't know what it is. And the one guy that's a proven veteran commodity on offense that you know you can rely on,
Elton Jenkins,
has now missed 3 of the last 4 games. No, I meant it from a skill position perspective. So we're riding the wave. He told us it can't just be about the outcome. It's got to be about the process. Yeah, you have clunker, stinker games. And they had one last night, and Jordan Love threw 3 picks. And Christian Watson, to his credit, was beating himself up with Rob Domofsky after the game for how he played. He's got to catch that deep ball. Mm-hmm. He's also got to do something more in the end zone on the interception. I did not think he showed sufficient fight. He said it. I can't let that guy intercept the pass. So, but again, he is a second-year player. He is not Devontae Adams. He is not on the cover of Madden anytime soon. But, like, this is my thing. I feel like I've been, Paul Revere riding from town to town, continuing to emphasize, hey, in good times and in bad, you got to be ready for this because there's going to be these moments. And last night, yeah, they lost to a team they should be better than. But they are young, inexperienced, and they screwed up too much. Their quarterback did it. Their head coach did it. Their young receivers did it. Their young tight ends did it. Like, I don't understand there's like this, at least in some of the feedback I've been getting, like some surprise because the Packers don't lose to teams that seem to be inferior. Well, guess what? That's what happens when you have great quarterbacking. You very, very, very rarely lose to teams that you are clearly supposed to beat. The Packers don't have great quarterbacking yet. They may eventually. But Jordan Love didn't play well. And you know what I love about Jordan Love? I got to be better. I didn't do enough. He went out there and he at least owned it, which doesn't always happen from quarterbacks, as we know. But, again, if you're a fan today and you're downtrodden over this, or you're ready to fire Matt LaFleur, you don't think he's committing coaching malpractice, or you think Joe Barry, even though they only – look, I'm not impressed by a defense that gave up 17 points to that operation. I think the Raiders did just as much to limit Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs as the Packers did. Josh McDaniels sucks as a coach. I'm sorry, he does. Jimmy Garoppolo's not very good. So, yes, the defense held him to 17 points. They should win those games. But they didn't. We want to get your positives and your negatives. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776.
Yeah, you're kind of speaking out of both sides of your mouth, though, here.
No,
you're saying one thing,
not.
but you're saying the other. I have no problem losing to a young team that's good. I don't have any problem. You're just saying their coach sucks. This sucks. Oh,
right. And young guys don't always beat teams that suck. That's my point.
So last night was just chalk it up to growing pains. Totally acceptable. It's all part of the deal.
I would love to know what.
No, I'm asking.
No, I want you to define what growing pains are, because I sent you the video of the opening of the show, which you know I love that show. I love Alan Thicke, too.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
But now I didn't expect you this morning to be here saying this isn't growing pains. Tell me what growing pains are by your definition.
Where did they grow from? They had the same opportunity. What did they grow from? Growing pains means you're growing. They've regressed. This team has regressed, Jason. They haven't grown. They went from Atlanta to Detroit, where they played a pretty good third quarter, and they fought and scrapped. They were playing against lesser competition, and they played worse. That's not growth. Now, there's going to I knew going into this season it was going to be roller coaster, ride the wave.
I'm
riding the wave today. You know what, Jason? The wave is down. The wave is pushing us out of the ocean. I'm going to ride it because that's what you do. You don't just sit here and say, oh, shucks. You can look at it rationally and say, yeah, there are going to be mistakes. But when you look at what happened last night, are we just good with that as fans? You as a media person can be good. As fans, they didn't get better last night. Where did the team get better last night? Where?
I would like to remind you, they had the lead going into the fourth quarter. It wasn't an abject failure all night long. They're up 13-10 going into the fourth quarter. And their three possessions in the fourth quarter were interception, 3-and-out punt, interception.
Okay.
You're right, that's not growth. But growth, it's not a steady incline with growth when you've got young, inexperienced players and a young, inexperienced quarterback. You didn't
Jason,
think
let me ask you this.
Sure.
I know. No, I understand that there's going to be this.
You're saying they've regressed. But maybe they played better than they should have at other points.
Yes. That's why I was so encouraged. Last night was their worst game of the season, by far. It's not close.
But I don't understand what you expect. You expect
consistent you have Elton Jenkins
growth
back.
The entire way?
I want to see growth. What did they grow in last night? Where did they get better last night?
Does it take a while to figure out how to play well on the road, even if half the stadium's your fans? Does it take a while to figure that out? Is that part of it?
Was that a road game? That was not a road game. I just don't think it was.
I don't understand what you want from these guys. I don't.
I want growth.
Right.
I want to see them get better.
Sometimes growth doesn't go at a consistent pace. And maybe they weren't as good in the moments that we were celebrating how he was awesome and everything else. And now this isn't a regression. This is just part of the process.
So you're telling me after watching that game last night, this team didn't regress last night? You're saying
Jordan Love threw 3 picks.
Yeah.
He completed 1 pass to Jaden Reed and 1 pass to Romeo Doubs. Should have had 2, but Romeo dropped it in a pretty critical situation. Sometimes growth comes from failure. And
I agree.
For the second time this season, So now they've got one where they pulled it off and two where they didn't. They failed when they had the ball in their hands with a chance to go win the game. They did it in Atlanta, and he went 0 for 4. They did it last night. And by the way, they came a hell of a lot closer to going and winning the game with the ball in their hand at the end of the game than they did in Atlanta. They threw a pass into the end zone.
They got one first down.
Well, does that count as growth? He completed passes on that drive.
You know what, Jason? Let's see what our fans have to say. Do they think that this team's gotten better over the course of the first 5 weeks? I have no problem with losing a game. You lose to a bad team,
it sounds like you have a problem with losing a game.
I am frustrated with the loss. They shouldn't have lost the game. And you know what? I can also say I can be frustrated and also say I know it's a long season, blah, 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 but I want to see this team improving. Do you think this team is improving?
No, they did not improve yesterday. But
thank you.
But what? What do you? I don't. Oh my God, dude! You played 11 years in the NFL. If you played like great one game and like crap the next, are you telling me that you didn't have these moments too?
I would be just as disappointed as I am today. Absolutely.
I'd be way more disappointed in a veteran team that should have been better than that.
The guys in that locker room, they're not sitting there like you saying, oh, well, we're growing, we're getting better. No, they're looking at saying, God, we stunk last night. We need to be a heck of a lot better to win anything. Nobody over there. Do you think Matt LaFleur is happy with how that team played last night? Can't imagine he is.
Someday you're going to actually listen to me. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. No one was celebrating how they grew or if they grew or the lessons to be learned. But there are lessons to be learned from failure. I completely disagree with Giannis, who I love, but there is failure. And there is growth that comes from failure. And they failed last night. And there is growth to be gained from that. But they had the ball at the end of the game with a chance to go win it. And their quarterback threw a pick in the end zone, and the guy he was throwing to didn't do enough to break up the pass. So they would have had one more shot. They were in position.
So which way are you voting in the poll?
They were in a much better position. I don't know. I haven't seen the poll yet. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. You're not exactly consistent, just like this team. We need to get to your calls. We also need to hear about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, the Packers, they didn't execute for crap last night out in Las Vegas, but Team Pella, they are executing some incredible plays. Products with limited lifetime warranties, incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass, stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze. This Pella play proves to be the game-winning tutter. Could have used one of those at the end of the game last night, am I right? Make monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and you get a free quote at PellaWI.com today. 6.99% APR financing for 120 months. Certain restrictions do apply. See showroom for details. Offers end on Halloween.
We'll get to your positives and negatives after we discuss ours. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers at 10/31/2023.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop at Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
A bank that goes the extra yard? You got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop, at the stadium, or online, you'll get 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. Get in the game and learn more today at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set from quarterbacks that have been here before us, and you're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Another tough one for the Packers. They fall 17-13 in Vegas to the Raiders on Monday Night Football. A whole audience watching as Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions in the loss. A game that is, of course, leading head coach Matt LaFleur searching for some answers.
I think this week will give us an opportunity to kind of go back. You know, I thought we did that over the mini-buy, but we got to find something to get us going, to jumpstart us.
Now nearly 2 weeks before the Packers play their next game, as they have a bye this weekend. They'll next lace it up on Sunday, October 22nd in Denver against the Broncos.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Time for me to fly. Oh, I got to set myself free. Time for me to fly. That's just how it's got to be. I know it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly.
844-770-3776. We'll get to your calls momentarily. Let's get to our positives and negatives. Tausch, what positive did you take out of this?
Preston Smith was awesome last night. Covering Devontae Adams, only giving up 22 yards on a slant route, but that was the part of the game that was kind of dumbfounding to me. I thought defensively shutting down Josh Jacobs was awesome. Devontae, whether you want to give Joe Barry credit or Josh McDaniel, I would say it's both. A scheme to eliminate some of Devontae's plays. That was great. But Preston Smith was all over the place. I think he has kind of been looked at, he's the old salty vet. Got Van Ness coming in, Rashawn Gary making plays. Preston Smith last night was throwback Preston Smith. Really physical, getting after the quarterback. I loved how he played last night. I thought he was great for the vast majority of that game.
I thought during the first half of the performance, A.J. Dillon looked like A.J. Dillon again. Now, I don't think he is back to being the guy that you, quote-unquote, had to make a business decision, like Eddie Lacy used to say, about tackling late in the game. But I did think that he took the challenge and played better. And whether or not that's going to continue to be ramping up with him, but they gave him opportunities early in the game, and I thought he ran the ball effectively. Not great, but effectively, and that's better than what they had been getting from him. So I thought that was a step forward for him. What was your biggest negative?
Oh, I mean, you could look at Jordan Love and how he threw the football, but it's Christian Watson. I love his speed. I think he is a big-time playmaker. I still think whether it's going to be 25 or 26, I think he is going to, because he has that. I'm a little bit nervous, though. You got the injury history, and I think that's limited some of his growth as far as going down and catching the football. I don't love his spatial awareness. It just doesn't feel like he knows tracking the football and being able to kind of figure out where the ball is. He's got all this talent. He had a couple of opportunities last night to finish this thing off, and he didn't. And for me wanting him to be that guy, I know he's young. I know he's got to grow yet. But there was a couple of plays last night that I thought this could have finished things, and it didn't happen. So that's my negative. I thought the receiving corps didn't help Jordan Love out. Jordan Love didn't play well. Worst game by far as a starter. But I think his receivers didn't help him either.
Low-hanging fruit is Jordan Love, and I am plucking that because, again, one of the things I respect about him is that he owns it when he is not good enough, and he was far and away not good enough last night. And I respect the fact that he does that. I wish that was baked into more people's cakes. It is not. I covered 18 years of Aaron Rodgers. I have said this before. There are a lot of great qualities that I love about the guy. Taking ownership when he's not good enough was never one of his strengths. Now, you would hope that Jordan Love doesn't have to have more press conferences like he had last night, where he has to say, I've got to be better, and I wasn't good enough, and I didn't get it done, and all those other things he said last night. But those were all true. You can't throw 3 picks in a game. Aaron Rodgers had some games where he threw 3 picks too. So, again, we don't need to play the whataboutism game. We're just judging Jordan Love. And his last 3 games, he has not been good enough in any of them. He has shown moments where he looks like the guy we want him to be, but he has been the guy that you don't want him to be more often than he has been the guy you do want him to be. And that is part of the process. People like Terry Bradshaw, after 2 games, proclaiming on Fox, Packers got another great one. And now people, and it's a definite mix in terms of the emails I got, the tweets I got, etc. There are people that are like, this guy just can't play. And then there's others that are saying all the other things that were the extenuating circumstances, which are valid. I wasn't ready after 2 games to say how awesome he was. I'm not ready to write him off after 5 games. I firmly believe that this is exactly what I expected from him. And his first 2 games were better than I expected, and last night was worse than I expected. And that's the reality. Yeah. But on balance, after 5 games, this is kind of what I expected from him. Growth is not a consistent step-by-step. It is fits and starts. It is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Last night he took 3 steps back in his growth, but he made growth from it because of it. You're telling me that he's not going to spend the bye week pissed at himself that he threw 3 picks in a winnable game against a crappy team? You're damn right he's going to be pissed. And I like that about him. But he was not good enough last night, and I don't have to say that because he did. Now, before we get to calls, Strofe, you sounded downright depressed during your Sports Center on ESPN Madison. And look, I know I have contributed, and I was trying to inoculate you, some might say immunized, starting in the summertime when we did the Summerfest show, that this stuff was on the horizon. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to say I'm worried about you because I know you're a very well-balanced person. But listening to you during Sports Center, I was like, oh, boy. How are you feeling today, and how have you ridden the wave and the roller coaster through 5 games as a fan?
I mean, I guess if we're using the roller coaster analogy, I've probably thrown up a few times. Yesterday was hard. I did not expect them to go. I mean, it was a semi-home game given the crowd, and they did not play well at all. Jordan Love was maybe as bad as he's been, and through 5 games, and Tausch, I'm curious on your thoughts on that, but Derek Angler, who I host the Great Dane Huddle with on Thursdays on ESPN Madison, told me last week, 5 games, 6 games is when you know your team's identity, one of those buzzwords, right? And through 5 games, I don't think the Packers have an identity. And to use another buzzword, complementary football, it was prevalent on one drive last night. And I don't understand why 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, we're throwing the ball 6 yards behind the sticks. I don't get a lot of what's going on. Everything was bad yesterday outside of, to give you a positive, I thought Rudy Ford was really good, and that safety position
My
is
guy.
scary. So other than that, though, everything was bad, no identity, not complimentary football. I'm depressed, Jason. Your analysis is correct. But Tausch, I'm curious on your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's early, and when you have as much mixing and matching with your O-line and with not having your best player out there, it's hard to give you a fair grade as far as what that identity is. So I'm not worried about that. I just am. There's been some regression, and I understand that there's growth. You don't see a lot of kids growing and then shrink 3 inches. So maybe growth isn't the right word. Maybe we need to come up with a different word, a different terminology for this nonlinear growth that we're having, because maybe that's where I'm getting confused, because there's ups and downs. Last night was a big, big down, and maybe we're just riding the wave. And as fans, and Jason, you're not a fan, so you don't get it. We're bummed and we're pissed today because we should have won the game. Growth or no growth, crap game or not crap game. You didn't even play. You played poorly, and you still were in position to win the game. The whole narrative changes if Christian Watson's able to snare that ball away from the defender last night. That's sports. And I am going to ride the wave. I'm going to ride the wave, and I'm going to still be very thoughtful about how I'm riding the wave. But last night stunk. It wasn't good enough by anybody on the offensive side of the football. Anybody.
We'll get to your calls, which I know won't stink. I also know that Kohler Services doesn't stink. I was emailing with Doug from Kohler Services trying to get our appointment scheduled because we're juggling a lot of things at the Wilde house, but we're excited for them to come in to see us. And Tausch, I know you've been impressed with what they've done for you.
Indeed they have. Have you been thinking, like Jason has, about updating your bath or shower? Well, if you have, Kohler Services is the spot to go. It's a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. Tons of great growth. Man, have they grown, and they continue to grow. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com. Request a free quote. Tell them that Old T sent you. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
All right, I know there's a lot of you on hold, so stay there. Strope's there to take more calls as well. He's got space on the phone bank. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We'll get to your positives, your negatives, and your venting or your relax. It's part of the process, whichever group you're in, or maybe you're in both. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
We had a great first 3 quarters.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I hate to see play calling get conservative.
Kyle, Brust, and Nordman. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, there's no such thing as an uphill battle. With a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. Because with impressive towing capability an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen, and the choice of powerful engines to pick from. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado with the capability you need. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history, Stadium Swim. 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Located at Circa Resort and Casino, open 365 days a year, and it will be the place to be for Green Bay's first ever visit to Las Vegas. Plus, the ESPN Wisconsin team will be live on site. Book your stay today at circalasvegas.com. That's circalasvegas.com.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Have you met your deductible? Are you stuck waiting in line to see an orthopedic physician? The team at Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin can see you tomorrow. Their board-certified and fellowship-trained orthopedic and spine physicians have been treating patients in the Madison area for over 3 decades. They specialize in a wide range of areas, including sports medicine, joint replacement, spine, hand surgery, and more. Convenient and accessible, their team is dedicated to getting you back to being active and doing what you love. Visit orthospinecenters.com. That's orthospinecenters.com.
Celebrate Prairie Athletic Club's 47th anniversary by saving $47 a month when you join today. No other health club offers you more for your money. Don't miss out. This offer ends on October 19th. Or if you want to give the pack a try for the very first time, they're offering 3-month fall membership deals. Hurry now. These are 2 of the best membership specials in the area. Stop by Prairie Athletic Club today or visit prairieathletic.com to check out all of their membership specials. Prairie Athletic Club, family fun community.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Packers are not waking up in Vegas. They are waking up in their beds as they traveled home. Matt LaFleur will talk later
that was
today.
Always the worst. Those West Coast flybacks, whether it's out in Oakland or anything else, you get home at like 5 or 6. Luckily, you got the bye, but man, that was always the worst. Those West Coast Monday nighters.
844-770-3776. 844-770-3776.
You shouldn't lose. You have a home game out in Vegas. Both things.
Yeah, I wasn't at the game. What did we feel the split of the stadium was from those that were there?
Yeah, it sounded like I had a couple buddies that were out there. It was like 60-70% Packer fans is what I was told.
So they just didn't have enough to cheer about? That's why I didn't feel like I heard them as consistently as I would have thought. Like I heard Steelers fans during the Sunday night game that they won out in Vegas a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, winning helps all that, Jason.
It was 13-10 going into the fourth quarter. They had the lead. So there were times to cheer.
And I think both teams had to use some type of a silent count. I think it was the Raiders had fans out there. It's just the same thing when Pittsburgh was out there. But, yeah, I think there was a predominant Packer strain last night compared to Vegas.
844-770-3776. Let's start with Jim in Saukville. I don't know if he watched the game or not, or if he's saving it for when Jesse comes over. Jim, good morning. How are you, bud?
Quickly up front, you guys can have fun with it, but the idea of watching a combination of games and holding off to get a better perspective, I got from someone I highly respect and one of the few individuals who is on, through their entire life, is, let's say, on the plus side in terms of putting their money where their mouth is, as opposed to some boy toys who, for them, it's just the game. So,
wait a minute. Who'd you get it from?
Again, are you having fun, Jason? Are you having fun? Let's move on.
I want to know where you got this from.
I wanted to make that point. Yeah, I wanted to make that point, and in fact, can I start with the positive now? I can elaborate, but the bottom line. Whoa,
wait a minute. I'm running this show. Okay, if you want to come on and tell us how you started your process, that's fine. And, yes, we've had some fun at your expense, but it was more at Jesse's expense trying to get him to come over to your house, first of all. Secondly, if you're going to tell us that you have this person who is on the plus side of their entire life and has put their money where their mouth is, I just want to know who it is that taught you this approach. That's all. I'm not asking for the moon here. Who is it?
Well, you actually are asking for names, addresses, telephone numbers?
I don't need his address.
Get him, Jim.
Point. You're really silly. But my point was...
what was his name? I don't need his address. Social Security number. Who is this person?
Yeah, Jimmy at Jack's Bar.
He's got the same name as you, so it's you.
Again, quite frustrated. You're taking this. You're trying. I don't know if you're just trying to keep the moment at light or just provide good radio at my expense. But all I'm saying is, yes. All I'm saying is that there's something to be said for not reacting on after every single game, and in fact, I think it's reflected. My positive for the day is, in fact, this game has generated that kind of conversational dynamic, and maybe I'll go back and watch the first game and rewatch last night's game to kind of put in perspective the idea, because I think my negative here is that they lost this game, and there are, in fact, too many issues that go beyond being just young. And to kind of frame that a little bit more succinctly, I would ask is, can you give me some examples of bad play that is an example of growing pains versus one that isn't? And I'm also assuming that when you talk about growing pains, that does not include mistakes on behalf of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Jim. You can let me know privately who your person who taught you this approach, and they should share it with Tausch. Maybe it would help. First of all, no, growing pains is not coaches. This is not a coaching staff that should be having growing pains. Now, is it possible that this coaching staff is having a hell of a time figuring out how to best put these young players in position to succeed? Yes. Yeah. Matt LaFleur has talked about how he has to simplify things. Well, guess what happens when you simplify things? It also makes it simple for the defense to figure out what the hell you're doing. So if you don't have the complexity to what you're trying to do, it makes it easier on the defense to know what you're doing. But you want to keep it simple enough that guys can execute it. So that's part of this. I do believe, and this is not me, this is not Jim at Jack's Bar in Saukville or whoever it was that Jimmy, whatever he is. I have heard over my 28 years a hell of a lot of people say you have to learn how to win. You have to learn how to win. Well, last night was another step in learning how to win. You had the ball with a chance to go win the game, and two of your young pass catchers dropped passes in critical moments. Is that focus? Is that pressure? Is that nerves? I don't know. I didn't play in the NFL. You tell me. But they failed. Can you grow from failure? Absolutely. But Luke Musgrave can't drop that ball. Romeo Doubs cannot drop that ball. And if one of them catches one of those two, then they're not throwing the same pass that Jordan Love threw that got picked off in the end zone. And maybe they win the game, and we're talking about how much they grew, even though 90% of the game would have been exactly the same as it had been against a crappy team. That's my argument. And we are focusing on the outcome because they lost to a team that's not very good. But it is the process. And yes, you would have loved for it to be consistent growth. But I believe in growth through failure. God knows I've failed enough. And yes, again, I love Giannis. But when he went after Eric Name that day, after they got eliminated, they failed. That team failed this season. That's why they traded Drew Holiday and went and got Dollar Dame, as you like to say.
So is there any way that this team can fail, I guess? Because if last night wasn't a failure, I don't know what is.
My issue, Tausch, is that the GM and the coach have both told us what to expect, and we're ignoring it. We're ignoring it. Matt LaFleur knows what he's dealing with. And I don't think Matt LaFleur is as great of a coach as Aaron Rodgers may have made him appear. And I don't think he's as bad of a coach as he's been made to look with the way he's had to try and game plan for this team. He's somewhere in that spectrum. And we'll find out as Jordan Love grows just how good he is. How good Jordan Love is, how good Matt LaFleur is, how good Luke Musgrave is, all these guys. But, yeah, the NFC sucks, and they could still win enough games to make the playoffs. But, again, that is outcome-based. This is a process, and the idea that this team could be really good in 24 and 25 remains my guiding belief. And last night could have been a step forward in a big way if you win that game at the end because the idiot coach for the Raiders kicked a field goal, and instead you didn't get it done. And maybe next time you think back to Romeo Doubs gets in the huddle and goes, all right, take a deep breath. We got this. I don't have to be so nervous about the game being on the line, or I got to be more focused, or whatever it is that he didn't do last night. But that ball he had no excuse to drop that ball. That was an easy catch. He's got to make it. And if he grows from that, then they're better off. 8-4-4-7.
So did Jim watch that? Has Jim watched that Saints game yet?
I have no idea, and I don't
I didn't get a chance. So
I like Jim. I appreciate his loyalty to the show. I did not need his wise man that told him this because, quite frankly,
come on, yeah, you needed that.
I don't. I just wanted to know who he was. Like, is he someone famous? Did he learn it from listening to a podcast? Where did he come up with this? Because I don't know anybody else.
Fairness,
Jason,
wait.
You don't
give up your sources. Okay.
No, that's not the same. What I was trying to get to.
Great point, Tausch.
Thanks, Struffy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and when I talk to Davante Adams, and it's on the record, I tell him that I talked to Davante Adams. He needs to protect the anonymity of the guy that taught him to not watch the game right when it happens.
Off the record.
Whatever.
That's what it sounded
My
like
point,
to me, yeah.
What bothered me is that I actually think that his approach sounds like it might be the healthier way to watch the 2023 Green Bay Packers. And he thought I was making fun of him, and all I want to know is who's the smart guy who came up with this idea, because it actually might be the best way to watch this team.
As he was talking, I thought, yeah, that is an interesting way to look at it. But, again, I look at last night, I didn't see, and why I've kind of been squabbling with you a little bit this morning.
A little bit.
I didn't see any growth last night. That's the part that's
right.
frustrating.
And my argument is the growth doesn't necessarily have to occur in the game. And you play in a league where there's all this time in between games. I think that the growth should be happening in between. And they need to grow from a failure last night, because there is one thing we can agree on. That was an abject failure.
Yes.
Their defense played well enough to win.
Yeah, and the part that's frustrating, and where this is the part that I think I can think back in 2008, and we never strayed from this. We were never sitting there saying, "Oh well, we got a young quarterback. We're going to lose these games." Guarantee you, the guys in that locker room aren't doing that too. I don't want our fan base to say, "Yeah, well, that's just how it is." I don't want that. That's how you end up with losing culture, is when you just accept what we saw last night. And if everybody's thinking the way you're thinking this morning, I'd be very irritated with our fan base.
I wouldn't be thinking that way if we were much farther down the road. 5 games. You know what you need to do? Chill.
What's that? Always chill. Jessup be chilling out golfing today, and you know what? He's not going to have to worry. It's cold enough. Those mountains are going to be blue on his cold-activated cans of Coors Light, and it's because Coors Light's brewed with a 3-step cold process: cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it is made to chill. That's why I have Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll get some more of your positives and negatives next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about, so instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. Why did the real estate agent buy a skateboard? So he could flip it.
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. As the Wisconsin Badgers come off a homecoming victory over the weekend, they now set their sights on another home game this upcoming Saturday against Iowa. The Heartland Trophy will be on the line between the Hawkeyes and the Badgers, and head coach Luke Fickell, though in his first year as head coach, understands and respects the rivalry.
I've known a lot about the university, and I've studied their football programs, but in particular their defense, as I was a young coach for the first 4, 5, 6 years.
Wisconsin-Iowa kicks off from Camp Randall at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Ben Bruss to tell you about one of my favorite teams in the area, Zimbrick European. For over 3 years, I've trusted them with my car buying process, and I'm never going anywhere else. From Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, their pre-owned and Sprinter vans, they have something for everyone. Don't drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary. I love the sexiest car on the lot that I found this time, a nice Zimbrick Mercedes. Find what you love. Test drive, and they will make leasing affordable. Zimbrick European.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Mark Toscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Heads Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean, where it don't matter, long as we're going somewhere together. I've got a quarter. Heads Carolina, tails California. We can load what we own in the back of a U-Haul van.
844-770-3776. I want to thank Tom Oates for listening to the show today, columnist emeritus from the Wisconsin State Journal. Not sure I like his text. I'm more on Tausch's side of this discussion. But you're defending your position passionately and well. Do you know what that is? That's the coach that after he beats you comes and says, your guys played hard.
Yeah, that's true.
844-770-3776. Let's keep going with your calls. Let's start with Jason in Cudahy. Yader, hey. Jason, how you doing today, bud? What do you got?
Well, I'm doing great. Thank you for taking my call, guys. Well, I'm going to start with the negatives, so then I can go into the positives. First off, it was just a terrible game from start to finish, I believe. Jordan Love with the 3 INTs. You know, the offense really didn't produce, what I thought they would have been able to produce on the Raiders. Squat, exactly. This is the Raiders' defense. I mean, come on. This isn't like rocket science with these guys.
Missing 2 corners, too.
Right, it's on both sides. So the 3 INTs was my number one for the negatives. And the LaFleur's game plan, I don't know what he was. I mean, he did well with the A.J. Dillon in the beginning of the game, and all of a sudden it seemed like we left it. And my big negative, oh, my God, Christian Watson. I don't care if you're I don't care if you're a second string, third string, fourth string. You've got to knock down the damn ball. You've got to knock it down. You've got to do something so that you have another opportunity. The other thing, I don't know, and maybe Tausch, you and Jason can answer this. Did we have a timeout on that last drive? I don't know.
We had one left.
We had one timeout. Yeah, we had one left. If they were doing fantastic on the first 2 drives of that last drive. They were throwing to the sidelines. They were catching the balls. And then Dobbs, the one time they threw it to him, he drops the darn thing. Then they go to Musgrave. He drops it. It's like, it's everything relies on game experience. You've got to be in the game in order to. You can practice till you're blue in the face, and until you get onto the field, that's where it's going to show all your practice, your hard work, and stuff like that. My positives.
So Jason,
you got a positive?
I'm glad you brought up the game plan thing, though, and I because I want to get to this, and we got other calls, so I got to let you go. But Tausch, Do you feel like LaFleur, to Jason's point, is searching? Because that's how I feel.
Yes.
I feel like he doesn't know. He just doesn't know what to go with that's going to work.
He needs Aaron Jones. Jason, he needs Aaron Jones back. Bad. He doesn't know. Strophe asked about identity and everything else. There isn't one. They're just not. And right now I think you're trying to figure out, you want to get Jordan Love out of the pocket, moving, jet motion, all this other stuff. And right now I don't think anybody is taking what they're doing seriously. They're putting people up. They're stopping the run game. At least last night you saw a little bit of it. Aaron Jones needs to be back for what he can do out of the backfield, catching it. He will change how defenses have to play, and he will change how Matt LaFleur approaches his game plan. Because right now, LaFleur doesn't know what he's got. What does he want to do? A bunch of deep balls? That's not working.
Right.
Now, I want it to work. That's not working. What works and what we saw was against the Bears, you get that RPO, play action off of it, screen passes to Aaron Jones, in the middle of the field. That's where Jordan Love needs to live right now. And Aaron Jones needs to get his butt back healthy as soon as possible, because I think that will make this offense look a whole heck of a lot better than what we saw last night.
And I thought one of the most telling things that I heard from Joe Buck and Troy Aikman was when they said that in their production meeting on Sunday that Matt LaFleur was exasperated that Aaron Jones was not going to be available. And that and as Matt LaFleur explained after the game, they went through the week thinking he was good to go, and then on Saturday he said that there was something amiss with his hamstring. Now he will have gone from September 28th, which was the date of the Lions game, to October 22nd without playing in a game. So your hope would be that even with whatever it was on Saturday, that is enough time to get healed. But again, he played 20 snaps against the Lions. It's not like he played 50 snaps. And the fact that then something else crops up is definitely problematic. All right, we will get to more of your calls. We are here for you, and maybe for us as well, as we all work through what we saw last night from the Packers as they lose on Monday Night Football at Las Vegas 17-13. I want to remind you, I was talking about this with Strofe last night on Green Bay game day. I had driven Sydney to soccer practice, and there was David Gruber he wasn't at soccer practice. He was on a billboard as I drove by. He's everywhere.
At the game last night, too. He was at the Vegas game last night. I saw him all over Twitter.
He really is everywhere you look. And you know the phrase, one call, that's all. But it's more than just a slogan. It's exactly what happens when you need legal help if you've been seriously injured or someone you care about has been seriously injured in an accident. So go to gruber-law.com. That's gruber-law.com to find out more about the firm, find out more about what they do in the community, or just give them that one call. That's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber Law offices, one call. That's all. The 10 o'clock hour, now that the 9 o'clock hour, that's all for that, is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Have you been thinking of updating your bath or shower? Well, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hey, this is Eric Name of The Athletic. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Yeah, it is. I'm Alex Strofe. I don't know if this music is sad enough for the update I'm about to give. Your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. National spotlight last night for the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football as they head to Las Vegas for the first time in franchise history to play the Raiders, and they lose 17-13. Jordan Love last night, 16 of 30, 182 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a QBR of a whopping 13.2. The offense puts up 13 points. A.J. Dillon pretty good, 20 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. But the Packers now 2-3 as they enter their Week 6 bye. Here's the head coach, Matt LaFleur, following another loss.
We've got to look at everything because it seemed like when we dialed up some passes, they had some timely calls defensively, and give credit to Patrick Graham and their staff. They did a better job than we did.
Reaction continues all day right here on 100.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tausch continues next from 2 to 4. It's Kyle Brust and Nortman, and 4 to 6. It's Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years, and I got nothing to show, just
10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and it begins where we ended the 9 o'clock hour with more of your calls. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Let's get to Mike in Texas. Mike, you're always so patient down there deep in the heart of Texas. What do you got for us today, bud?
Thanks. Well, so my negative is just the amount of mistakes just made throughout the entire team and from the coaching. But I think of that as a positive because, if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. I mean, I make mistakes all the time at work. Not make all the time, but, I'm saying just throughout my career, I've made mistakes. But every time I make a mistake,
You're
I
not
learn
a surgeon, are you, Mike? Mike, you're not a surgeon, right?
No, I'm an accountant, so I can fix mistakes with journal entries.
Oh,
so,
yeah, okay. Accounting, no big deal.
And now I'm being audited.
But, we learn. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then the coaches should learn. They know, like, if this is what I need to focus on. This is what I need to teach them. This didn't work. Let's try this. There's just so much. So I don't look at it as like this game was, it was horrible, yes. But I expect, and we'll see at the end of the year and next year, did they learn from it? Are they learning? We don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, Mike, of this saying you either win or you learn. I've heard a few people use that inside 1265 Lombardi Avenue. No, you still lose. Now, you can learn from losing, but you do still lose. And they definitely lost last night. I'm curious, you talked about the coaches there. And I feel like I'm getting, and Tausch has sent me a few things, and I've seen some responses on social media as well. Are you down on Matt LaFleur? Because I feel like there is I have stopped using, I don't tweet during games anymore. Now, when I did, I felt like I was like this kind of receptacle for fans' frustration. My mentions column, they couldn't yell at Matt LaFleur, they couldn't yell at Aaron Rodgers, so that was how they got things off their chest. And I'm dealing with that a lot less because I just don't use Twitter during the games. But now I feel like the frustration with the performance, there seems to be a reaction about the coach. Are you frustrated and are you down on Matt LaFleur?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm frustrated, but it's confusing to them perform the way they did. And it's like, so, I mean, with that one drive with the Dillon Russian touchdown, that was perfect. That was great. I mean, just keep on running, keep on getting yards, do it. But then when it comes to the long passes, none of them completed. So I guess I'm not frustrated with him because he's like, okay, let's make a chance. Let's do something, see if it works, and it doesn't work. I would think, though, that he's like, okay, we need to focus on this. We should be able to figure out to get this right. Maybe it's timing. I don't know. But so I'm not yet. It's still early.
All right. I appreciate the call, Mike, and I appreciate you waiting on hold so long. Tausch, is that the sense you're getting, that there's a growing frustration? Because, look, I understand. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's trying to figure out what the hell is going to work on offense. And I don't think he knows. And I think he is doing trial and error. But I think people are getting frustrated with him and questioning whether he knows what he's doing, which I guess that's part of the job. That's why you get paid lots and lots of money to deal with that. But are you questioning if he knows what he's doing?
How can you watch last night's game on offense and not question what's going on?
It's not that I'm questioning that it's bad or not. It's I feel like he can't figure out what he should do to put these guys in the best position to be productive.
Kind of his job.
It is his job, right? And he's trying to do it, and he's not doing a great job of it, right?
Yeah.
But
so why are you like giving him the benefit of the doubt on that? You're not giving it to Joe Barry.
I haven't said Joe Barry's name today.
But you've said Joe Barry stinks. You've been saying that for
a
while.
He's got a different group, and yet last night, by the way, the fact that he did what he did without either of his starting inside linebackers because they lost Quay Walker, and then I saw Dallin Levitt out there for a while. I saw Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens, out there for a while because they lost one of their starting safeties. My guy, Rudy Ford, is the most consistent player they have, it would appear. But he has a veteran group. That's the difference to me. And the two things that were supposed to be strengths about this offense that I think he went into the season thinking he could hang his hat on were running the ball and having a strong offensive line. And they haven't had a strong offensive line with the injuries they've had, and they haven't consistently run the football without Aaron Jones and with A.J. Dillon struggling behind that offensive line. So, yeah, I think he's getting the benefit of the doubt for me because he thought he knew what he was going to hang his hat on, and he can't. And now he's trying to figure it out.
Well, all we heard all offseason was finally gets to be his offense. Finally gets to have somebody that's doing what he wants to do. And if we're being honest, and I know you like Matt, if you're being honest, this offense has been very, what's the word I would look? Inconsistent at best.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Anemic. I think you'd say anemic and say, for the vast majority, we've had glimpses in third quarters where this offense has looked good. First halves of games, this offense has looked, and that's where coaching really, you scheme things up, you see stuff. You don't even have to make the adjustments. People have always questioned Matt LaFleur's adjustments, even with Aaron Rodgers. It has always been, oh, boy, he's really good in the beginning of games and all this.
It's been the opposite, right?
So it's really hard for me to sit here and say, well, Matt LaFleur, yeah, guys, people get injured. Stuff happens. I think everybody knew going in David Bakhtiari was going to be hit or miss. Now, the Aaron Jones component,
didn't think
absolutely.
They were only getting
There's
one
also
game
games,
from him. In fairness,
there's also games where Aaron Jones has played and he didn't get him the ball. The whole second quarter in the Bears game, he didn't even give him the ball. So I think Matt LaFleur deserves a ton of scrutiny, and I'm sure he's given it to himself. He is not nearly as generous as you are being with him, if I'm being honest.
No, he takes the blame for everything. He does do
100%.
that. But are we having? We would agree that every game. Or not every game, but almost every game comes down to 4 or 5 plays. Do we agree?
Yeah, for the most part, unless you get trucked, yeah.
So, for example, if the deep ball that I think we both agree Christian Watson should have caught, right? The deep ball that was thrown.
Absolutely.
If he catches that and they go in and score and they win the game, are we talking about how Matt LaFleur doesn't know what the hell he's doing?
I still would have been questioning what the game plan was yesterday. Yeah, I still would have.
There was a lot of short passes that I think what his game plan was, and I'm guessing at his intention, is that you heard Jordan Love talk about during the week how I got to take the easy stuff and just get completions. Matt sent us all home for that mini bye and said, think of one thing that you're going to work on and you're going to focus on, and Jordan's was getting completions. And then he still ended up 16 to 30, right? And so I do think I know what his game plan was. Run the ball and throw underneath stuff and hope guys got yards after the catch and get Jordan into a rhythm and then expand the passing game. And it didn't work.
Yeah, and Jason, that's the problem because I think you need to be multiple. And when you see that a team has 2 or 3 defensive backs out of the game, and you have all your receivers healthy and Aaron Jones is out, you need to switch gears and say, you know what, we need to take advantage
But wait a minute. We went into the game talking about how this was the 25th ranked run defense, and they were just as bad against the run as the Packers were, so you got to also run the ball. So which is it?
You look at football. NFL football is a game of matchups. My guys are better. Where are my guys better than their guys? If you have a stout run defense, you're going to probably throw the football. You're going to figure out ways. If the Raiders, correct me if I'm wrong, Raiders' pass defense isn't very good either.
Yeah,
Am I correct on that?
They're not very good defensively at all.
And then you take their two of their best corners out of the game, and you still don't really attack. I just wonder, and this was something I saw a bunch on social media and people's comments, does he trust Jordan Love to go do it? Last night was not a trusting game plan. Last night was a don't mess this up. And I think if you thought you could shut down the Raiders like they did, that's fine. But when you play to not mess up, you end up messing up. And that's what happened with Jordan Love last night.
They dropped back to throw 34 times. They ran the ball with a running back or the one Christian Watson 5-yard loss 23 times.
Okay.
He didn't overrun the football, and A.J. Dillon ran 20 times for 76 yards, which 3.8 yards per carry ain't that impressive, but it's certainly better than 2.7.
Has Matt LaFleur been better or worse than you thought with this new quarterback through 5 weeks?
I thought he was going to scheme more guys open than he has. I am curious to watch the all 22, and I'm not one of those, I watched all the film and here's what I saw, because Bulaga does it a million times better than me. But I do want to see how often Romeo Doubs was open last night. Because I thought Romeo Doubs was going to grow this season into a stud receiver, and his productivity has been inconsistent. And I think he was targeted twice all night, or 3 times all night, 4 times tops. He had 2 catches. If he is your 1A, 1B wide receiver, he probably needs to be more involved and more productive. Now, granted, one of the best to do it ever was targeted 4 times by his team last night. Right? So maybe it had something to do with what the Raiders did. I don't know. I have not watched that part of it. But bottom line is, they were not productive enough offensively. Whoever's feet you want to lay that at, they definitely weren't. No, you'll get no argument on that.
So you're saying worse. Because I think.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Nope. Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, that is all I was looking for, because I think we all had this belief. Matt LaFleur is an offensive guru. He's part of the Shanahan tree. He schemes people open. He does this. And I thought against the Bears, who were god-awful, did a pretty good job. Again, he had Aaron Jones for a vast majority of the game. Last night, the Raiders are probably as bad as the Bears. I know Max Crosby's good, but that defense isn't that much better than the Bears' defense. And schematically, I don't know about you, I didn't see a ton of people running wide open. And if there were, they certainly didn't hit them. The only time a guy was wide open is on a broken-down play and a crap coverage that the Raiders blew to Watson, which, again, the horse collar tackle saved the game for the Raiders. So I don't know how anybody could sit here, and that's why you're seeing – I said when you made the move to move on from Aaron Rodgers, all right, Matt LaFleur, here we go. Let's see it. I believe it. Let's see it. And so far, I think most of us have been underwhelmed by what we're seeing.
I think your point about not trusting him is true. I do believe that. I don't think that he trusted Jordan Love to make the intermediate throws that you probably needed to make against this defense last night. And so they tried some underneath stuff, and then they chucked it. And they were
Needed more Tay Wicks last night.
I know I certainly did. Because had I used him on Prize Picks, I would have been vastly disappointed.
Yeah, Old T, great night on the PP last night by Tay Wicks, winner. My Jimmy G interception should have had 2 or 3, winner. Devontae Adams, less, winner. Old T with a big win. You can have a big win on Daily Fantasy Sports Made Easy, and that is Prize Picks. Not going against me, although if you'd have listened to me yesterday, you'd have been pretty happy with what I had to say. But it's easy. You make your own entry off of Prize Picks' projections. You go 2 to 6 players, can win up to 25x on your money, and you're not competing again with me. You have all these sports. You got Major League Baseball playoffs. You got NBA preseason. You got it all. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up today. Use that promo code WI. You put 100 in, PrizePicks throws you another 100. Again, download that PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com.
All right, I know there's lots of people that have been waiting on hold, and Tausch and I have gone back and forth, so we'll get some more of your calls. I am curious, where do you think you are more likely to have success on PrizePicks? NBA preseason or cricket or disc golf?
NBA preseason.
Okay.
For sure.
Can you play just one round of? If I give you $5, will you play a $5 of mine on my behalf on disc golf or cricket?
I'm going to let you give that to Brusty or Jesse.
Every time I do that with Brust, he lost in roulette for everybody that ponied up for that. I'm asking you. All right,
but he's growing, Jason. Don't worry about it. He's growing. He's going to learn from that. He's going to go with the other colored.
He is growing, actually. I think. That's my opinion. More of your calls, 844-770-3776. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Whether you're saving up to buy a jersey for your new favorite player, tickets to a game, or simply need some extra spending money for you and your family, it's always great to learn new ways to save some extra cash. Well, I've been telling you for a while now about how you can save money and help save the planet by making the switch to Everlight Solar. When my family first thought about making the energy switch to solar, we weren't exactly sure where to go. That's when we got in touch with the team at Everlight Solar, and through every step of the process, they were great as we made that switch to solar. If you're interested in making the switch, let them do the same for you. Check out everlightsolar.com to find out more and schedule a free consultation. Save money and help save the planet. When you're ready to make the switch, take my word for it. Count on the team at Everlight Solar.
We're on the Packers.
We had a great first three quarters.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I hate to see play calling get conservative.
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wietrich family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR, 120 months, or supplies. Show for details. Offers end 10/31/2023.
Ben Brust to tell you about one of my favorite teams in the area, Zimbrick European. For over 3 years, I've trusted them with my car buying process, and I'm never going anywhere else. From Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, their pre-owned and Sprinter vans, they have something for everyone. Don't drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary. I love the sexiest car on the lot that I found this time, a nice Zimbrick Mercedes. Find what you love. Test drive, and they will make leasing affordable. Zimbrick European.
Former NFL player and Rose Bowl champion Tarek Saleh here for Carbon World Health. Carbon is much more than just another gym. They offer the best recovery in the area. Some of my favorites include red light therapy and cryotherapy. Improve your athletic performance, fitness and training results, speed up muscle recovery and reduce pain, and boost your mood with these simple and non-invasive treatments. Visit Carbon World Health today and ask for the ESPN Recovery Package. That's Carbon World Health.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I've left behind.
All right, let's get some more of your calls as the Packers lose in Las Vegas 17-13 to the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium, which Ben Brust was there, speaking of Ben Brust.
13 points against that operation.
Oof. Yeah. 3 interceptions. You can't. How many games do you think you won over your career in which either Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers threw 3 picks or more? Can't be many. It might be 1 or 2, maybe.
Very, very few.
All right, I'm going to fact check that while we get back to the calls.
Hey, but an interesting little tidbit, and this is for the Jason Wilde portion of this crew. Someone put a comp up of Aaron Rodgers' stats 08 versus Jordan Love's stats.
Yeah, and they had the wrong number of interceptions.
Okay, well, I'm just saying the stat lines were pretty interesting to me. Both teams, 2 and 3. Both there's a lot of.
How did the completion percentages compare, Tausch?
Jordan Love's is much lower than Aaron Rodgers was.
Aaron Rodgers, 4 interceptions, 9 touchdowns. Also played one of those 5 games with a separated throwing shoulder, as you have often told us about his trip down to the Hudson Center. Yeah,
very gritty.
844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Let's get to more of your calls. Let's go to Sean in Hartford. I presume Wisconsin, not Connecticut.
Connecticut, huh?
I drove by Hartford the other day.
No.
Sean, how you doing today?
We're Wisconsin guys. We're Wisconsin.
Amen.
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, you guys. You guys both are making great points. I'm agreeing with both of you on different angles. If you look at it, it's really interesting how that defense, just when you're ready to fire the defensive coordinator, right, they step up and they play for them. It was enjoyable to watch Gary, Walker, Smith, and Clark last night. They all had good games. I know Walker went out, but it was fun to watch them. They looked like they were having fun out there. And then you look at, it was Holmgren, right, that used to script his first 15 plays?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Packers do something similar. Yeah.
And McCarthy.
Yeah, and, if you think about it, I don't know if LaFleur is doing that, but, our beginnings of our games have been terrible. We haven't started. I used to coach, and I'd always say we have to start strong, we have to finish strong. We are not starting strong. That's a problem. We have to fix it. Maybe put a bug in his ear, Willie, when you're talking to him and tell me I need to script some plays. That might help.
Great.
He needs to, and then
come on, Jason.
I think Holmgren stuck to that too, right? Even if the defense was doing something different, he still stuck to his 15 plays. And I think if they do that, the players know what they're going to do. The young team knows what they have to do. They know their job. They've worked on those plays. This is what we're going to do, no matter the outcome. And then after that, we play with what we get. Now, Jordan Love. You guys, everybody keeps saying he's following Aaron Rodgers. This young man is following Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. He's following 30 years of MVPs and Hall of Famers. There is not one quarterback in the NFL that has as much pressure as this kid has. That's one thing. The other thing is this kid's been playing with a poker face. What I really liked last night, after he threw his 3 interceptions, you saw his face change I finally saw this guy's face change. He was very hard on himself, disappointed in himself, and that's what you want to see. You want to know that your quarterback is going to be hard on himself. And there's no one that's going to be harder on him than himself. So, this kid, he's really following 30 years of joy and excitement, and he's got some big shoes to fill. And I'd say LaFleur, he needs to change. Crosby was in his face. They needed to do a 3-second step, and that's it. Get rid of the ball, period. And he didn't do that for that young man, and that's too bad. And Christian Watson, I'm sorry, the guy is soft. Dobbs is our guy. That's it. That's all I got, guys.
Appreciate the call, Sean. I respect people that own their failures more than people that, throw an interception and say that they weren't happy with the play calling or the general manager didn't get the guys that they wanted. Which, again, I wish Aaron Rodgers had been better about that. The problem is you can only give points for acknowledging that you played poorly and owning your failures if it doesn't happen all the time. And we don't know what Jordan Love's career arc is going to be. I respect that about him. I hope, for his sake and for Packers fans' sake, that there's not a hell of a lot of games where we're talking about how, well, Jordan owned that he failed. He owned that he made the mistakes that cost them the game, because I would still rather have a guy that wins a bunch of games than one that owns it when they lose. And I'm eager to see how things play out for him, starting with Denver, which is another bad team coming up.
Yeah, Denver stinks, and it looks like they're doing a fire sale to get rid of more people. Do you think that Jordan Love is under the most pressure of any quarterback in the NFL, as our friend from Hartford just said?
Yeah, I don't agree with Sean on that. I certainly think he's following in the largest footsteps of anyone in the NFL. I agree with that. But I don't, again, for me, who has been spending the last 1 hour and 32 minutes saying things like this, I don't think internally that the expectations are for him to play at an extremely high level this year. I don't think the GM has those expectations. I don't think the head coach has those expectations. They have hopes. They don't have expectations. And again, Sean's right. Matt LaFleur has paid a bucket load of money to figure this stuff out. He hasn't figured it out yet. He has not figured out how to consistently make Jordan Love's life better and easier and more successful. If he had Aaron Jones, would he be doing a better job? Probably, but guess what? Nobody feels sorry for you that you don't have Aaron Jones and you don't have David Bakhtiari.
Does he feel like he has? Do you think LaFleur feels like he has the tools to make a
No,
decent?
I saw him hugging Devontae Adams yesterday. I am 1,000% convinced that if you put a couple of Coors Lights in front of him and no cameras and no recording devices, that Matt LaFleur would say, I wish we had a mixture of experience and youth instead of just all young guys at the pass-catching positions. But he's never going to say that.
I would agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
And I don't expect him to say that, but I believe that's how he feels. 844-770-3776. I know we're not doing a great job of getting to multiple calls quickly. That is my fault. Much like
way to take accountability. Jordan, nice job, Jordan.
We've been kind of mixing in conversation along with the calls, so we will get to more. I hope you've been patient with holding on. There are spots open, 844-770-3776. Speaking of spots that are open, Fortria has some spots open for you to sign up for their clinical trials.
They do, and if you're looking to redo the bathroom, Christmas is coming. You got Thanksgiving, you got travel, whatever you're up for. No more of that Vegas trip. Thank God you didn't go. And if you didn't, now's a great time to get on the Fortria clinical trials deal and make a little bit of extra cash. Right now they have studies healthy adults ages 18 to 60. Body mass index of 18 to 32. The study involves 2 stays of 15 nights, and you can be compensated 13,820 bones for your time and participation. They also have a trial where they're looking for healthy males and females, ages 18 to 55. The females must be of non-childbearing potential. The body mass index of 18.5 to 32. That study involves Once they have 9 nights with a follow-up call, you can be compensated up to $4,055. Go to Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com. That's Fortrea, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
I'm going to spend the entirety of this commercial break counting up Brett Favre's 3 interception games because there's a lot.
So if there's a 6 interception game, do you count that twice?
So just so far, what I was able to do, these are regular season only. He had 1 5-interception game. You guys lost. He also had, that was in 2005, by the way, so that was during your time. He also had 5 4-interception games.
Yeah.
0-5. So now I got to get to the 3-interception games. I will do that. We'll have that and more of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate Back Tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
At TLC Laser Eye Centers, we know every one of our patients' journeys. Like a recent patient in Chicago. She's been wearing the same scratched frame since college. And another patient in New York City. The first time he tried putting in contacts, it took him 4 hours and lots of patience. So how do we know all this? Well, TLC isn't all about seeing. We're also about listening. We start by discussing your needs, answer any questions, or address any concerns you may have about LASIK. Then we customize your experience to you. You deserve the best LASIK doctors, the best LASIK staff, and the best LASIK experience. So book your free 20-minute virtual consultation at TLC Laser Eye Centers. And let's talk about your journey today.
Right now, TLC is offering $1,000 off their Wavelight laser when treated in October. That's $500 off per eye. So call 888-TLC-2020 or visit SaveOnTLC.com. The doctor's choice for LASIK. Must mention this promotion and be treated in October of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard Wavelight price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. See details at SaveOnTLC.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set from quarterbacks that have been here before us, and you're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Another tough one for the Packers. They fall 17-13 in Vegas to the Raiders on Monday Night Football. A whole audience watching as Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions in the loss. A game that is, of course, leading head coach Matt LaFleur searching for some answers.
I think this week will give us an opportunity to kind of go back. You know, I thought we did that over the mini buy, but we got to find something to get us going, to jumpstart us.
Now nearly 2 weeks before the Packers play their next game, as they have a bye this weekend. They'll next lace it up on Sunday, October 22nd in Denver against the Broncos.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
'Tis the season for Toyland at Fleet Farm. The elves are stocking shelves with the hottest toys, like Barbie, Lego, Hot Wheels, and more at unbeatable deals. Find a lower toy price and we'll beat it by 5%. Doors open at 7 a.m. Saturday, October 14th. Plus, the first 125 customers get a free toy tractor. Get unbeatable deals on the toys you want before they're gone. Fleet Farm, the store with everything you need for a very Merry Christmas. See store for details.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. As we celebrate 90 years of serving the Madison area, to commemorate this occasion, we'll be giving away a .90 carat lab-grown diamond to one lucky customer. You can register to win at our store at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to enter the contest. Throughout October, we'll have a flash sale and other days when you can save up to 30% on some of our most coveted jewelry styles. 90 years in business is a long time. Help us make more timeless moments for you, our loyal customers. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business. In October, we'll have a flash sale and you can save up to 30% on selected jewelry styles. Visit us at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to win a .90 carat lab-grown diamond. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison since 1933. Yes, 1933. That's 90 years. Help us celebrate and make more timeless moments.
The best is at Goodman's.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh, sister, I will help you out. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do.
All right, I've done my research. As we established before the break, Brett Favre had, in regular season play, one game in which he threw 5 interceptions.
Who was that against?
Hold on one moment. He had
Philadelphia.
5 games. He had 5 games in which he threw 4 interceptions. You were 0-5. He had 33 games in which he threw 3 interceptions. Exactly 3. So not including the 4 and the 5-pick games. What would you like to guess his team's records were in those 33 games in which he threw exactly 3 picks?
That is unbelievable. You know what? It makes sense. 33 games, 3 picks. I will think it's going to be, I don't know, let's go 10-23.
Really good. Really well done. 9-24. 9-24. The games in which you played in which this occurred, you beat Philadelphia 6-3 your rookie season.
That was a dogfight. Yeah, it was a dogfight.
It was a dog something. Different word I would use to describe that performance. But you won 6-3.
Good growth that day.
He had a 2003 game against San Francisco, an 04 game against Washington, an 06 game against Detroit. Then he had an 08 game against the Jets. Those are the other games that they managed to win in which he threw 3 interceptions, most of those with you on the field. Now,
and Jordan Love should have been 1-0 with games he threw 3 picks.
Right. Had the opportunity to be. There were 2 playoff games in which Brett Favre threw 3 or more interceptions. There was a 4-interception game in which you guys lost to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then there was, how many tackles did you have in this one? The 6-interception game. There were only 3 that you could make a tackle on because the other 3 were pick sixes against the greatest show on turf and the St. Louis Rams.
I think we had a fumble. Too. That was 6 picks, and honest to God, he could have thrown 10. Like, it was that kind of day. That ball was just we always are taught to cover after every pass. That was one of those games where it was, we better cover because there's a good chance the ball's coming back the other way. That's a tough day. Tough day.
Right, so
Edward R. Murrow Dome or whatever it's called.
The Dome at America's Center. Edward Jones, I think it was. All right, now, so that is a total of 41 games, including playoffs, in which Brett Favre threw 3 or more interceptions. Aaron Rodgers, for his career.
It's going to be less. I'll prize pick this. It's going to be less.
Fewer. Yeah. 5 games.
I don't think he had any 4-pick games. I don't think he had any 4-pick games.
He had 0 5-pick games and 0 4-pick games.
Yeah.
5 3-interception games, 2 of which happened in 08 when he was a first-year starter and you were protecting the right side.
Mm-hmm.
He also had one in 2009, one in 2017, and one last year. The Green Bay Packers record in games in which Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions, 0-5.
There you go.
So,
well, and in fairness,
5.
Yeah, that is as telling of a stat and lets you know, because you get that question of Favre or Rodgers. A lot more excitement. Hey, for all you growth and roller coaster riders, hey, that was fun, man. You don't go on a roller coaster to stay here the whole way. It's with Aaron Rodgers. It was you get here and it's more of a what's that little ride at Disney that takes you around to all the hotels?
The monorail. The monorail.
Aaron Rodgers was monorail. Hey, we're here. Okay, yeah. Well, we might have to get off here. It might be a pick there. You're not riding that roller coaster. And let me tell you something. For as much fun as people have, roller coasters are fun to a certain extent, and then they get old. And you got to wonder, well, they're going to break down. Is this going to happen? Oh, this. A lot of people don't like roller coasters. I don't know anybody that doesn't like a monorail.
So I don't want to keep this many people on hold for this long, but I need to ask you this because you and I got after each other early in the show. Do you think that your time watching Aaron Rodgers as an analyst and playing with him as a teammate and the consistent growth, right? Like you would argue that there were very few dips in his growth, wouldn't you?
Correct.
Do you think that is influencing how you're viewing Jordan Love's growth in any way? Because his is not. His is.
Let me tell you something. Hey, yes, Jason, there is no doubt that it is. And by the way, that's the deal. That's the deal. We have to. You're not getting drafted by the Chicago Bears. You're not playing for teams that have had average to below average quarterback play. This is what, and I know he didn't sign up for it. This is where we're at, though.
Right. All right. I'm blowing up the clock because these two calls have been waiting forever. So let's get to them, and I'll deal with the consequences of being Mike McCarthy on clock management. Let's go to Jeff in Minnesota.
Very,
Jeff,
very frustrating.
You have been very, very, very patient. How you doing today?
Good. So can you give me a few minutes? I just want to say a few things.
You waited from the statistic that I have from Strofe. You waited 84 minutes on hold. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, okay, so a couple things. Just a perspective piece. Favre's first 3 seasons as quarterback, 51 interceptions and 70 touchdowns after 3 seasons. 51 interceptions, 70 touchdowns. That was his first 3 years. So the positives that I want to talk about are, one has to do with you, Jason. You were asked on a different show, it was Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, what is the definition of a soft team? And you gave a great answer without giving a definition. I just wanted to tell you I thought your answer was really, really good. You talked about a bunch of different metrics and bunch of different things to look at without giving an exact definition, so I want to give a positive to you. I thought that was a really good answer.
Thank you for praising me for not actually answering the question. What was
the actual answer?
No, you did answer the question as best as it could be answered, actually, I thought. So that was that. Now, here's the positives from the game. He was in for a short time, but Walker actually had a tackle for a loss. He anticipated a run, and he cut a gap, and I thought that was a good thing to see as a difference versus making a tackle after a 5-yard gain. Our kicker was also very consistent and went on and did what he should have done. I think actually 2 of Love's deep passes were actually where they should have been. One, Watson got his hands on, and the other, he threw it to the inside. And how many times did you see Rodgers do that with Jordy Nelson, where he throw it to the inside and Jordy Nelson would go get it? I actually think the reason why that pass was not complete is Watson is still not good at how to run and track the ball once it's in the air.
Agreed.
But I thought the pass,
spatial awareness.
I think his deep passes were better. So the negatives are this. The offensive line, multiple times they showed how they had 2 guys doubling Crosby, and either one of them would one of or both of them would whiff. So that is what it is. You know, you can blame Crosby only so much. The Packers had 4 MABs. Is that the new term, MABs as a team instead of sacks?
Yeah, I don't. BAMs. What are we calling them?
BAMs,
Yeah.
MABs. Yeah, you could come
BAMs.
up with something new, Jeff. Whatever you want.
The Packers had 4. Packers had 4 BAMs. The Raiders only had 2. So I mean, you know, we got plenty of pressure, and their offensive line was no better than ours. I'm through waiting for 86 minutes. Unfortunately, Tausch took the wind out of my sails with my main comment, and that is this.
Happens to me all the time.
I have to tell you, I'm more concerned about Matt LaFleur than I am of Jordan Love. Matt LaFleur is not coming across as some offensive guru who calls plays. He just isn't. I've watched other teams, and, you know, there are people that are wide open when you watch the games on Sunday, wide open. Just like Tausch said, he took the wind out of my – we had one play where a guy was wide open. It was busted coverage.
Right.
We get down on the 2-yard line. Oakland's got 5 men on the defensive line, 5. 2 plays in a row, and what does he do? He runs up the middle 2 plays in a row. I don't think I don't know what it is, but my question to both of you, and I guess, Tausch, you've kind of answered already, but this is my parting question. I think Matt LaFleur's in over his head. He certainly seemed that way in the post-game press conference. You never saw Holmgren or McCarthy seem like, I don't know what to do next. And that's almost like the impression you got from Matt LaFleur. He just had 11 days. Now he'll have 14 days. He had all the time in the world to figure this out. His play calling isn't fooling anybody. It just isn't. And I don't think he's putting Jordan Love and not giving Jordan a pass. He played terrible. I mean, he had 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Run the ball instead of throwing deep to Watson. You got plenty of time on the clock as well as an additional timeout. That's his youth. He didn't play well. Having said that, I think a bigger problem is Matt LaFleur, and I'd like to ask both of you, is he in over his head? That's my question.
Great question, Jeff. Tausch, you get to answer it first.
I don't think he's in over his head. I think he it's just hard for me to make a ton of positive arguments going off of what I've seen this season. I think Matt LaFleur did a great job with Aaron Rodgers the first 3 seasons. Again, the most winning coach in the history of the league. Now it's his time. Pressure was on. This offseason's about Matt LaFleur developing. And I'll be curious. I don't think that Goody-Matt LaFleur relationship is rock solid. I think it's fine. I think there's a lot of consternation there. Matt LaFleur's offense needs to be better than what it's been. This needs to improve, and it needs to start showing some growth. It can't just be, well, you failed again. Failure's a great opportunity to grow. Yeah, no, I can't argue, but let's grow then. You can put 100 seeds in the ground, and if it's just seeds, you're putting manure on it, you're watering it. At some point, you better get some kind of harvest. And if you're not, you're going to starve. And if you want to starve, that's great. I don't know anybody that wants to starve. Yeah, take them seeds, Jason.
And put them where the sun don't shine. I don't think he's in over his head. I think he is struggling to figure out what exactly is going to work with a young pass-catching crew and a inexperienced quarterback. If they had some middle-of-the-road, semi-experienced quarterback, do I think it would look different with some somewhat experienced receivers? Maybe, but I don't know that. I can't say that for certain.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. If Aaron Jones had been healthy this whole time, and this is what the offense looks like, I'd say he's in over his head. I think Aaron Jones is his little chess piece.
Yep.
If this offense, with Aaron Jones healthy against Denver, if they go out against that team that's given up 70, if they don't throw up 30-plus, we need to start sending out alarm bells about where the heck is this group.
And we will not be toasting Matt LaFleur with a Tito's or making batched cocktails for him. We'll be questioning him further.
Yeah, we'll be needing a tailgate, though. Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You could win game day gear for your next gathering simply by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batched cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 to enter. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Mo, stay on hold. You're next. And then we'll get to something that Jer Alexander said that got folks a little fired up, but with context I didn't think was as bad as some people reacted to.
Needed the context.
We'll get to that in the 11 o'clock hour, but we'll get to one more call from Mo, who's on hold. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. To apply today, go to stojobs.com. As the Wisconsin Badgers come off a homecoming victory over the weekend, they now set their sights on another home game this upcoming Saturday against Iowa. The Heartland Trophy will be on the line between the Hawkeyes and the Badgers, and head coach Luke Fickell, though in his first year as head coach, understands and respects the rivalry.
I've known a lot about the university, and I've studied their football programs, but in particular their defense, as I was a young coach for the first 4 or 5, 6 years.
Wisconsin-Iowa kicks off from Camp Randall at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. We're an independent, fee-based firm specializing in customized investment management, tax-aware wealth planning, and personalized client service. We're a steward along your financial journey because you deserve more than a run-of-the-mill experience. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Have you met your deductible? Are you stuck waiting in line to see an orthopedic physician? The team at Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin can see you tomorrow. Their board-certified and fellowship-trained orthopedic and spine physicians have been treating patients in the Madison area for over 3 decades. They specialize in a wide range of areas, including sports medicine, joint replacement, spine, hand surgery, and more. Convenient and accessible, their team is dedicated to getting you back to being active and doing what you love. Visit orthospinecenters.com. That's orthospinecenters.com.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history, Stadium Swim. 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Located at Circa Resort and Casino, open 365 days a year, and it will be the place to be for Green Bay's first ever visit to Las Vegas, plus the ESPN Wisconsin team will be live on site. Book your stay today at circalasvegas.com. That's circalasvegas.com.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview of the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, UW-Madison class of 2002. Join me, Michelle Smallman, and Super Bowl champion Chris Canty every weekday morning from 5 to 9, right here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand on Wisconsin.
All right, last call for today because we got a lot of other things we want to get to in the 11 o'clock hour, but we want to reward patience and loyalty. Let's go to Mo in Illinois. Mo, thanks for holding on so long. We appreciate you. What do you got for us?
Yeah, no worries. And yesterday I struggled to have patience and loyalty to Matt LaFleur. It was disgusting of a game plan as I could have seen in a while. And I have had ongoing concerns with LaFleur, and I've been saying this for the past 3 weeks, and it looks like folks are starting finding to understand why. Yesterday, if you guys recall, he calls back-to-back screenplays to Patrick Taylor, one on a second down and one on a third down. Okay? On top of that, when Christian Watson had that big play, they ran the ball in a loaded box 2 straight times with A.J. Dillon. Matt LaFleur lacks creativity. I can't believe people are calling him this offensive guru. He's not. He's becoming a liability as a play caller. I think Aaron Rodgers covered up for a lot of his flaws. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, I do miss Aaron Rodgers. Yesterday was the first time all season where I said, damn, I miss Aaron Charles Rodgers. Why? Because if all else fails, at least Aaron Rodgers does not turn the ball over like that. Jordan Love had 3 terrible interceptions. And it was incredibly concerning because Aaron Rodgers, if he's under center and LaFleur calls those plays, do you think he's not checking out of them? Of course he is. And I'll tell you one thing. If the Packers lose to the Broncos coming out of the bye, LaFleur should be on the hot seat. I think he should be on the hot seat right now, but so help me God. If they lose to the Denver Broncos, I think all hell will break loose on Packers Twitter.
I'm not going anywhere near that. Thank you for that advice.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know about the being on the hot seat bit, but all hell breaking loose on Packers Twitter. Yeah, that is a given.
So, Tausch, I want to touch on something that Mo, and we appreciate Mo waiting because that was a great call. But one thought that I have had as I've watched this unfold that really surprised me, and I'm again find myself wondering if this is him changing things for Jordan Love. And that is, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, or it was a press conference, a conversation, but I asked a question, then we kind of went back and forth, he and I, as I know people enjoy listening to. I thought that in this offense, that the vast majority of plays had can plays attached to them. And he said that, at least now, and I don't know if this was the case before, but now most plays don't have a can play, which I need to explore that further with him because was that not one of the appealing things about this system is that if you get to the line of scrimmage and the call you have is not palatable for what you're facing defensively, then you do the little can move, and then you call the adjacent play, which should be better against that look. And when he said that not the majority of them have cans attached to them, I was like, well, wait a minute, I thought that's what this was. Maybe I misunderstood it then, but if it's a change, that again underscores the lack of trust in a young, inexperienced quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it's so goofy because things when Aaron Rodgers was quarterback, he's got too much authority. He's got too much. You got to let Matt LaFleur run his stuff. Now,
true.
It's, give him enough leeway. I mean, at some point, you need to just let's run good plays. Scheme it up, draw it up. We didn't have a ton of audibles when we played. There was very few. It's about execution, and it's about trying to figure out, this is what's going to happen. And for the most part, we knew it was going to happen. It wasn't like we were blindsided by a bunch of different, look at this front, look at this. Occasionally it'll happen, and you tip your cap. This isn't the case. Well, if you run this play, you want to give yourself a chance to have a chance. You don't want to run into a loaded box. You want to mix and match. But that is a great question to ask Matt LaFleur this afternoon or whenever your press conference comes.
Tausch, tell us a little bit about what AmFam's got going on with the Badgers as the what's the trophy for Badgers Hawkeyes? I always forget this one. Is this the pig one?
Freedom Trophy?
Heartland
or the
Trophy.
Pig?
Heartland. Isn't it a pig?
Heartland.
Is it a pig?
I think it's
there's
a pig.
Freedom Trophy that I think is Nebraska.
Yeah.
There's only one let me tell you something. There's only one trophy game. That's the Minnesota, the Paul Bunyan's Axe. Everything else, I'm not great with. Badger fans, we are great with giving you a great VIP experience at a Badger football or basketball game this season. You and a friend receive pregame, sideline, or courtside passes, a tour of the facility, and tons of great merch to support your Badgers. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly. Insure carefully.
The 11 o'clock hour, which will include hearing not just from Alex Strofe, but also from Jer Alexander, and Wilde and Tausch trivia, begins in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Toscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Yeah, it is. And I'm Alex Strofe, your Sports Center update brought to you by ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Join hosts Colin Russo, Adam Ertz, and me this week, 2 hours before, which begins at 12:30, and immediately after every Wisconsin football game this season, including the Iowa game, the Heartland Trophy game on Saturday, here on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand. All right, we're not talking about the Badgers yet, though. That'll be later this week because we got to talk about last night. The Packers go to Vegas for the first time in franchise history last night in a national spotlight on Monday Night Football and lose. Final of 17-13. The Packers now 2-3 on the season. Jordan Love on the night, 16 for 30, 182 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, including the game sealer with less than a minute left. A.J. Dillon with a bounce-back game on offense, though, 20 carries, 76 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's an average of 3.8 yards per carry, better than the 2.7 he entered the game with. Head coach Matt LaFleur, after the game, a 2-3 record entering the bye week.
You know, we've got to look at everything because it seemed like when we dialed up some passes, they had some time.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and I saw you, Mark Gerald Tauscher, calming down the people of Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it now, for reacting. Somebody from Las Vegas tweeted out a portion of this quote.
Yeah, a very clickbaity quote. Very clickbaity.
I have not listened to this audio clip. Strofe, is it abbreviated or full contexty?
It is 20 seconds, so more context than Homer, Tausch, and Gabe got to react to on Green Bay game night last night.
All right, so here is Jer Alexander talking after the game.
Yeah, I think at this point it's pretty obvious that the defense has to not give up any touchdowns, you know. I think that's a part of being self-critical of our defense because, you know, the offense is pretty young, you know, and they're still figuring out mojo. So, the defense, we gotta be the ones to score and stop them from scoring.
All right, so now, Tausch, I assume that all you got in real time was the first sentence that was shared on social media. I used the entirety of that quote in my game story in the State Journal this morning, and when I listened to that, I hear a guy who is saying that keep it in perspective of what this offense is right now, and it is not a bad look for him. But if I had only seen the first sentence, that might have changed my view of what Jair said there.
Yeah, I mean, we got that, and then I think one of our social media channels put that quote out. And initially I thought, boy, that's not a great look. First off, y'all are acting like you're the 85 Bears. You're not. Now, the 85 Bears or the 01 Ravens said that, okay.
The 23 Bears.
You guys are shutting fools down and scoring points. The Ravens, when they won it, they legitimately were like, we got to score. And they did. And kudos to them. This isn't that group. That was my initial point. And then this is always the thing. And I saw a little bit of this with Wisconsin, when Jimmy Leonard's defenses are dominating, the offense was struggling and turning the football over. And you're always wondering, make sure you keep that locker room together. You can't be acting like, well, I always tell the story in the O-line room. Well, the O-line's giving up a bunch of sacks, but, I got my guy. It was something we joke about because it's super selfish, and there was some truth in it, but it was also, hey, shut up. This is a group effort. We need to figure this out. I got my guy. You slap him around a little bit. That's what that sounded like to me. And what Jair was saying, full context and thing, I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
If it was the initial thing, I had a big problem with it because the fastest way to splinter a locker room is turning your offense against your defense and vice versa. You can't do that, and especially as a leader. So I'm glad to get the context of it. I was glad somebody tweeted that back to us and gave us the full context. So then I said, whoa, all right, this social media in this world is quick. Everybody wants instant reactions. Whew, slow down. It's a quote that I think there's some merit to, and as long as the defense is understanding that and executing it, I don't have a problem with it.
So, Tausch, I guess my question for you, though, is this. As you, in your role as an analyst, as opposed to in your role for 11 years in the NFL, when you guys were self-evaluating, and please tell me that if I'm wrong, you guys didn't grade on any sort of curve on who you played, or it was just, plus minus, positive grade, negative grade. When the coaches graded you, it wasn't, you were going against Reggie White or you were going against Lenny from a Division III school. It didn't matter. Fair?
For the most part, yes.
So now, as we watched, what do you take from last night's defensive performance? Because as I said early on, I don't think Josh McDaniels knows what he's doing. I mean, the kicking the field goal just sort of cinched it for me. But most of the game, I was kind of like, I'm kind of glad that he's not the Packers coach. They could have hired him instead of LaFleur. And I know people are down on LaFleur today. I think they'd be more down on Josh McDaniels.
No, I'd take LaFleur over Josh McDaniels all day, for sure.
So when you look at what they did defensively, was last night, because Josh Jacobs did not run through them. He started to for a little while there, late in the second half. Devontae Adams did not dominate them. So was last night a step forward for Joe Barry? I saw people still wanting Joe Barry fired. And then I saw Homer and others who were, I guess, chanting, which I don't think you can do on Twitter per se, but I think that's what he was going for. Barry, Barry, Barry. How do you put in perspective what the defense did last night?
I thought the defense was good last night. Was it great? No. Was it good enough to win a football game? Absolutely. Should they have had more turnovers against Jimmy G? They had a couple of opportunities. I think I love Sewell Douglas, man.
I do too.
I love the way he approaches the game. I think he is a dog. Mm-hmm. You got to have dogs. He a dog. And I don't know if you caught it, but the one that I thought was most interesting is that slant pass. I don't know if it was to Jacoby Myers or if it was to Devontae.
It was to Devontae, down close to the goal line.
They had the coverage dialed up. Sewell was back there to help, and the play was designed for Keyshawn Nixon to jump it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's there, and he doesn't make the play.
He was too
There were
flat.
a few of those opportunities. Yeah, he didn't make the right step. And so from a coaching standpoint, that ain't on Joe Barry. Joe Barry dialed it up beautifully. Now, when Preston Smith is out there guarding Davante Adams, you could say, what the hell is going on out there? And it's fair. Defensively, I thought they played a good enough game to win.
And to be fair to Joe Barry on that one, and Matt LaFleur did say this, when Davante Adams was on their team, they did a pretty good job of setting those things up too, where they moved him in motion and caused confusion, and then you end up with a linebacker on. That's what you're trying to do. Now, I don't know how often Josh McDaniels successfully does that, but when the Packers had Davante Adams, they did it a lot. And I remember going, hey, how's that going to work out for you? You got a linebacker on Davante Adams. So it did happen to opponents as well. So I know people were crushing them for that, and that is a bad matchup, no doubt about it. But the other guys are supposed to try and create those mismatches, and that was the one time all game that they successfully did it. Look, I have been a Joe Barry critic big time, but they more than did their job last night. And he had a good game as a coordinator.
He did. Yeah. He did.
Right.
Now, Jimmy G, I think
he underwhelms me.
Packer fans got to just be getting sick and tired of losing to Jimmy G. Like, Jimmy G is at best, serviceable quarterback in this league. I'm not going to take anything away because he's won a lot of football games.
What do you think the Packers would be if he was the quarterback?
Why it's so hard to beat Jimmy G? He's scoring. I think last night might have been the most points he scored against us. I know he had the day where they ran all over us in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, he threw 8 passes, yeah.
Why it's so hard to beat Jimmy Blank and Garoppolo?
All right, so let me ask you this, because there
no,
was
I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo as my quarterback.
No. I agree. No, not do you want him. But he would be the guy who has played in this system, is a veteran, is certainly not a Hall of Fame player like Aaron Rodgers was, but somewhere between first-year starter and Aaron Rodgers is Jimmy G. And Matt LaFleur, with a guy who has played the system, like they were talking about how Jimmy G, having played for Kyle Shanahan, is the hit your last step in your drop back and get the ball out guy, right? And there was that play where Devontae would have been open had he looked for the ball, but then he continued upfield and was even more open for an even bigger play. And Jimmy G didn't handle it because he thought, I hit my back foot, I'm going to throw it. Is it possible that the offense right now, as Matt LaFleur has it designed, with a guy like Jimmy G, is having more success than what we've seen in the last, whatever it is, 9 quarters? I'm not saying it's good enough.
This.
I'm just saying it's a guy who knows how the system is run, and he's not searching as much.
I would say I don't have any interest in that, but if you look at the production that we've seen, be hard-pressed to find more ineffectiveness outside of Mac Jones with the New England Patriots that we've seen
about him.
From an offensive standpoint. I don't know where our offense ranks right now, but I don't think it's top 10. I don't think it's top 15. It's not great. And that falls on the doorstep of Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. Would Jimmy Garoppolo be more productive? I don't think by much. It's definitely not worth the price tag and the age that you'd be adding in. So,
sure.
No, not at all.
The Green Bay Packers as a team are averaging 22.6 points per game. That is almost exactly in the middle of the 32-team NFL. In terms of total offense, they're 28th in yards per game, 23rd in yards per play. They are 28th in rushing yards per game, 26th in yards per play. They are 21st in passing yards per game, 21st in passing yards per play. So they are in the third quadrant for most and the bottom quadrant for the others. Not great, Bob.
Growing pains. Growing pains.
Show me that smile again, Alan Thicke. But today's not growing pains. We put that poll in the field.
Today's not the day. I agree. There's growing pains. Today I'm
did
pissed.
You say
I'm sulking. What?
I'm pissed. I'm sulking day. I think Joanna Kearns went on that show later. It came on after Golden Girls. I'm curious, did we say that the Lions game was not growing pains either? Because there was another game this year where you required us not to play growing pains. You told us not to.
No, I said the Lions game was growing pains. I just thought it was brutal that we were physically dominated the way we were. I said that was a growing pains game.
All right. I've given you where the Packers rank.
Atlanta, growing pains. I think part of the problem for me, and I think for some of us, we would have been better off playing Philadelphia or San Francisco or somebody really good out of the gates rather than the stinking Bears. And then that kind of was like, oh, and then having Atlanta beat and you don't do it because expectations rise. Maybe.
You don't say.
Maybe our boy Jimmy in Saukville is onto something. Maybe we all were thinking, Jimmy, you're nuts for doing it this way. And maybe Jimmy and whoever Jimmy's source is was saying, you want to get a really fair evaluation, maybe we slow down and watch. If we watch this game first and then watch the Bears game, I am sitting here like, look at this growth. Look at where we are. Instead, I'm sitting here saying, we stink because last night we stunk.
Yeah, you definitely elevated your expectations, and we argued about awesome and all that. And you don't have to apologize for elevating them. I understand.
I'm not going to. I don't want my
I'm
expectations
not asking you to. Hey.
You kind of did in the beginning of the show. You did. You kind of did.
My expectations are never as high for you or for the Packers as they are for Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, Pella always executes incredible plays, unlike our G&G last night, who did not. Pella does in products with limited lifetime warranties. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass, stylish windows with hidden screens that will make game days a breeze. This Pella play proves to be the game-winning tutter, which is what we needed last night. We didn't get, but Pella will give you. So give them a call or get a free quote at PellaWI.com. You can make monthly payments as low as $19 a window, $75 per patio door, 6.99% APR financing for 120 months. Certain restrictions do apply. See showroom for details. Again, go to PellaWI.com for your free quote today. This offer ends on Halloween, which is still got 21 days, but get moving. It's coming up quick.
Time now for trivia. The category is leaving Las Vegas.
Unhappy.
Which I'm curious, not only are Packers fans leaving, but I wonder how I have a few friends that made the trip, and they like to do some wagering. I'm curious if they're leaving Las Vegas up, down, or even Steven. I'll find that out a little bit later today. You, though, can leave Las Vegas and play trivia. Caller 3-844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 3 right now to play Wilde and Tausch trivia. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Alex Rowe. Football season is officially here, which means you better be doing it right with my friends at Door County Distillery. If you're a whiskey fan, you can't go wrong with the 9-time award-winning single malt whiskey from Door County Distillery. Maybe you like gin. How about that classic green bottle of gin from Door County Distillery? Or maybe it's the cherry brandy to mix up in your old-fashioned. Whatever it is, choose Door County Distillery. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com, for the retailer nearest you and all of those unique cocktail recipes. That's doorcountydistillery.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Colton Brunell from Columbus High School. Colton, welcome.
Yeah, hey.
You've rushed for over 6,000 yards. What do you like about being a running back?
I like scoring touchdowns, but how I score a touchdown, it's like everybody on the team. The linemen blocking for me, the quarterbacks selling out his fakes, the receivers blocking downfield. It's just like a team sport.
You're going to be playing football next year at like
Go to.
There seems to be a pipeline coming from the Madison area there. Jerry Kowinski, quarterback from Sumter East, the lineman. What made that school attractive?
They've just been so nice to me. They treat me really well. The coaches are super nice. The players are even nice. They reach out. It's just like a good community to be around.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
It's spooky, it's scary, but don't be frightened. It's the Graveyard Grabs promotion at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison on Saturday, October 28th from 5 to 9 p.m. 27 winners will be selected to enter our graveyard filled with piles of rewards play and cash prizes. 3 winners every half hour will select 3 scary prize pieces, and each will keep the total amount of their own selections. Each winner has a chance to walk away with a total of $3,000 in cash. It's a frighteningly good time at
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. What gets lost in the middle of football season is the fact that the holidays are going to sneak up on you. So while you're thinking of it, there's no better place to go than Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. Diamond Jim, the owner of the store, is in the store every single day, 7 days a week, ready to help you, whether you're looking to take that next step or you just need to treat your special someone or yourself. There's no better place to do it than with Jim at Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. Visit them online, condonjeweler.com. That's condonjeweler.com. Or pop in today on the east side of Madison.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
The dog days are over. The dog days are done. The horses are coming, so you better run. Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father. Run for your children, for your sisters and brothers. Leave all your love and your love.
It is time for trivia. And let's play. Let's welcome in our contestants. It is Randy in Grafton. Randy, good morning. How are you today?
Very good.
The category, leaving Las Vegas. You ever been to Vegas?
Oh, it's been so long ago.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while. All right, time now to play. Jesse wrote these questions, so there's a 67% chance that there may be an incorrect answer somewhere in here. But, nevertheless, question 1 is this. Which of these Nicolas Cage movies features an iconic climactic scene during which the protagonist lands an airplane on the Las Vegas Strip? Would that be The Rock, Con Air, or National Treasure 3, Bet the Treasure on Red?
Con Air.
1 for 1. He's also in Leaving Las Vegas, isn't Nicolas Cage? Isn't that his movie with Elizabeth Shue? Yeah. Depressing film, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, good chops. Really good chops. All right, Randy, in addition to being the home of the Raiders, which of these other sporting events will Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas host before the end of this year? Is it the Pac-12 football championship game, the Las Vegas Invitational men's basketball tournament, or the MLS Cup championship match?
Could you repeat those quickly, please?
Sure. The Pac-12 football championship game, Las Vegas Invitational men's basketball tournament, or the MLS Cup championship match?
I don't know. The second one?
Randy, your enthusiasm is waning. Let's bounce back for question 3. The Fremont Street Experience in Las Vegas offers patrons which of these thrilling activities to experience on the Las Vegas Strip? Is it base jumping, zip lining, or skydiving?
Oh, geez. Skydiving?
No, zip lining is the correct answer. Has Jesse been to Vegas? These are Jesse's questions. This is what he came up with for Vegas. I wonder if he's done these things. And the Pac-12 championship, that'll be the last one, I suppose, that'll be in Vegas. All right, Randy, you only got one right, but I think yesterday's contestant is in the same boat as you, so that's not the worst thing in the world. Good luck in the drawing. You've got 2 of the possible 4 entries. We'll draw on Friday. Thanks.
Pleasure to be involved.
Pleasure to have you. And you know what else is a pleasure for Tausch? Coors Light. See how I did that?
That was really good. Jason, that was great. You're growing. You're growing. And
Green
if you're
and growing.
And you need to chill a little bit, which I think we could all do. Coors Light is brewed with the 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filter, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light is refreshing. It is crisp. It's only 102 calories. That's why it's Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Whoa, Strophy! Whoa, Strophy is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Grassland Dairy. With a Thursday night game, Monday night game, and the bye week all happening back to back to back, our Sundays are a little less full of football here for a few straight weeks. Well, maybe that means you get to spend a little extra time preparing a fantastic breakfast. And you know, no breakfast is complete without the pure and delicious taste of Grassland butter. Grassland Dairy has been serving up delicious taste and high-quality butter from farm to table since 1904. That's over 5 generations. And the key to that success has been the high-quality ingredients Wisconsin's dairy farmers help produce to give Grassland its pure and delicious flavor. Thank you, farmers, and thank you, Wisconsin, from Grassland Dairy. Butter better with better butter. There is truly no better product and no better taste than the pure and delicious taste of Grassland butter. Grassland Dairy, crafting butter for 5 generations.
It's all about the green and gold and nonsense on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
In the same way that I bought this cookie on that Saturday morning, I am ready to buy a ring for our boy Jordan Love.
Welcome.
Let's lock this man up.
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Presented by Bud Light. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. You heard me talk about them for years. I have my big blue truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. It is a Silverado. If you're in the market for a new or new to you Chevy Silverado or Colorado, I recommend Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Go see my guy Dan out there. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we commit to full transparency in everything we do. Because we're a fiduciary, we strive for the highest industry standards and on our ethical duty to put your best interests first. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape, creating a personalized wealth management experience. Care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 1 year, 20 months. Reverse supplies and show for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
So last night, Madison and Paula had the distinct pleasure of getting to listen to Green Bay game day because I couldn't be on the Monday ballet Uber driving because of the game. So Paula took Maddie, and they listened to Strofe and judgmental Jim Rutledge and the gold medalist Matt Hamilton, who they didn't know who he was. So Paula's question was, who's the guy with the raspy voice? And he ended up telling his story about getting into the cockpit of the Delta flight that he was on because of his hat, which was a fun story to listen to. But Paula, who is not a trained radio judge or evaluator.
But she was listening to game day, though. Never to Wilde and Tausch, but she would listen to game day.
Well, she's not in the car during our show with a radio station playing on her car radio. Now, yes,
she has a phone.
Could she listen on the stream? Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
She was actually listening to the portion of the program that I wasn't on, so that might also be a factor.
Maybe she likes that.
Exactly. But Strofe, she was very complimentary of your work.
Well, tell Paula I say thank you.
And then she said nothing about the time that I was on, so I assume she switched to 90s on 9 when I joined you starting at 5 o'clock. Time now for What Strophy. Whoa, Strophy.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
All right, fellas. I've still got questions about last night's game, not to bring the mood down too much. But one play in particular that seemed to get a lot of attention on Twitter was when the Packers were on defense and Preston Smith was lined up across from Davante Adams. Tausch, I'm just curious from your expertise, what the hell happened there? Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw it. I tweeted about it. We've discussed it here a couple times, Trophy. I think when you look at it,
phones,
and Jason mentioned this too, Matt LaFleur had that same thing with Davante Adams, trying to figure out how you get there. You obviously don't want Preston Smith matched up with Davante. Now, with motion and with different coverages and different things you're trying to do, whether it's stopping the run and rotating people, it's an unfortunate deal. The good news is, and nobody wants to hear this, they didn't put Preston Smith one-on-one. They had help. He had safety help. So you can give him a ton of grief and say, what on earth he used – Preston Smith's got to do a better job of getting his hands on Davante and rerouting him. Preston got crossed up. Davante, obviously, great footwork getting off the line of scrimmage. But Preston Smith, he's got to go talk to Al Harris and some of the other big bump and run guys in the old days and start. Charles was at the game. You should have talked to Charles. How do I get this? Obviously, that was highlighted and used to excoriate Joe Barry. Just like Jason had kind of said, Matt LaFleur also gave Joe Barry a pass on that because if it's happening a bunch, shame on you. But if it happens once a game, all right, I get it.
As we were discussing it, and Strofe, I am going to give you a pass because, well, you're growing.
I am.
But you were also answering a lot of calls.
I take accountability, Jason. I missed it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good. But as we were talking about when you weren't able to listen because you were doing other stuff, I thought Joe Barry had a good night. I did. And I do think it helped that he was facing a play caller who it's amazing. He had so much success with Tom Brady. I think the jury is officially in on Josh McDaniels. And I saw Raiders fans reacting on social media that they were disappointed that they won because they're concerned that Josh McDaniels is going to be able to save his job. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think they're going to start over with a new coach a year from now. But he's not very good. But Joe Barry had a good night, and he deserves to be praised for having a good night no matter how much help he got from the Raiders. Whoa, Strophy. Whoa, Strophy.
Well, Preston Smith will not have to match up, at least in the first matchup, with Justin Jefferson of the Vikings, who has been placed on injured reserve due to a strained right hamstring. The earliest he can be reactivated is week number 10. Who is closer to Caleb Williams' watch? Is it the one-win Vikings or the one-win Bears, Tausch?
Good question.
One-win Bears because they get two bites at the elephant.
I know you explained that phrase yesterday. I still don't really understand.
I tried.
I don't really either. I don't love using it. It's a bite at the apple.
You sure you don't
Carolina
love using
stinks too. The Bears stink, and they have both of those options. So 2 is better than 1, but I tried to tell you guys that the Vikings are going to be Tank City. They told you that they were going to be doing this.
Yeah. Rebuilding
Kirk
coming
Cousins,
off a 13-4 year.
Where does Kirk Cousins land? Because they should trade him. I don't know where. Do you take him if if there's an injury for any of the big boys? Kirk Cousins is going to be going there.
So I agree with Tausch that it's the Bears, but I wouldn't give up hope if I'm a Vikings fan of them finding their way to Tank City and having success doing so. I saw something this morning that I thought was interesting, a little maybe Jonathan Taylor-esque, if you will, without the trade demand. There's some school of thought that now that Justin Jefferson is on injured reserve, has not gotten the contract extension he was seeking, and their team is tanking, that he may take his sweet old time coming back from this hamstring. Now, again, not sure how that works in Minnesota, not a team I cover. If I was the Vikings, I would say, all right, we're going to take care of you. But, yeah, why don't you make sure that it's 100% so we can lose some more games? Nod, nod, wink, wink. Look, long-term, Kirk Cousins is not their quarterback. I thought they were going to be the team that acquired Trey Lance, frankly. I did not expect Dallas to be the team that got Trey Lance. So they have a question about their quarterbacking future. They would be wise to tank. And I heard on the telecast last night from Buck and Aikman, who I guess have seen some of Arizona more than I have, certainly, that they actually aren't as bad as they're trying to be, which you've told us all along, that players don't tank. Organizations do. And they're actually doing some things over there in Arizona that are throwing a wrench into the tanking plans.
Well, you start looking at it. Yeah, you start looking at it, Jason. Dak Prescott, he's in the last year, basically, of his deal. He's got no more guaranteed money. Kyler Murray's going to be available. Got a hunch Russell Wilson's going to be available. Kirk Cousins is going to be available. There is Ryan Tannehill's going to be available. There is going to be Matthew Stafford's been available. There are going to be a lot of moving parts that are going to be available next year, and maybe even this year. This is a new era for NFL football. That there's going to be this much moving parts, and there's this many openings at the quarterback position. It's going to be a fascinating offseason to watch.
Whoa, Trophy!
Last one for you fellas quickly. The NHL season gets underway tonight, a triple header on ESPN. I am
Bedardzi.
not. So he's playing the Penguins and Sidney Crosby, right? So like a generational crossover. Tausch, I'm not the biggest hockey guy in the world, so if somebody could explain to me when I should actually begin tuning into the hockey season. Is it right away? Is it midway through?
Yeah.
Is it at the end like baseball? When should I get into it?
Opening day and then wait for the playoffs. That'd be my recommendation. And if you can get to a game live, get to it. I think hockey, watching it live, you see how fast everything is. It's just a much better, and unfortunately for hockey, it's a niche sport, but it is such a great sport to watch live. And the reason so many young kids love it is because it's nonstop action. Some of these other sports are so much of a break. Hockey is a great parent sport. It's a great sport for your kids, and it's a fun sport to be at live. Unfortunately, TV hasn't figured it out yet, and I don't know if they will, but it's hockey. I am a total hockey guy now since we've been doing it 4 or 5 years. It's a good sport, but it's a tough TV sport for me.
Hey, who's your team since we don't have an NHL team? Is it the Dallas Stars?
Yeah, we're the Dallas Stars for sure.
And Ryan
all
Suter.
Stars all the time.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's probably a good timeline for Tausch to share. Was that this week? I'm losing track of the days, and it's only Tuesday, where we talked about how the NHL is going to have a red zone-ish channel. And I still
That's a good idea. Power plays. Yeah, power plays and scoring opportunities. I
don't understand how you do scoring opportunities, though, beyond power plays. Like you just said, it's end-to-end action. How do you cut in from game to game? You got to be quick.
You go to it 5 seconds. Go to it 5 seconds late. Nobody cares. Get the action, put it out there. You see a goal, boom. You see a great save, boom, put it out there.
Okay. Wolf's Trophy.
That's all I got for you, fellas.
All right, that's it for Wolf's Trophy.
Hey, anybody understand why was Preston Smith covering Devontae Adams last night?
Boy, do I have a take on that, Tausch.
You're mean.
What are you, Strophy? I don't understand. Why would they be why it's so hard to get a D-back on him? Why it's so difficult?
Great question, Tausch. Somebody should ask Joe Barry about that.
You're being kind of a D-back right now to him. So if they had on Prize Picks a more or less number of times a linebacker was going to be covering Davante Adams, and they would have said 0.5, and you would have said, well, no way, nobody's going to put a linebacker on him, you would have lost because it would have been more. It would have been one.
With Joe Barry, anything is possible, just like Kevin Garnett. And Old T getting a big W was definitely possible last night on Prize Picks. I had a great night. Tay Wicks, Tay Adams, Tay Garoppolo. I had the triple Tay, and Old T put a little cash in his pocket. How does it work, you ask? Well, pick 2 to 6 players, and you score more or less than their Prize Picks projection. I went less on Tay Adams, and I went more on Jimmy G because Jimmy G is an interception waiting to happen. Worked out well for me. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport. Strophy just mentioned the NHL's getting started. You got the Major League Baseball playoffs. You got college sports. You got soccer. You got cricket. You got it all. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up. Again, use that promo code WI for a 100% match. You put 100 in, Prize Picks gives you 100. prizepicks.com or the app Prize Picks.
We'll wrap things up by discussing something we haven't talked about all show.
Preston Smith.
Preston Smith covering Davante Adams.
Take care, guys. I'm out.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. As the Wisconsin Badgers come off a homecoming victory over the weekend, they now set their sights on another home game this upcoming Saturday against Iowa. The Heartland Trophy will be on the line between the Hawkeyes and the Badgers, and head coach Luke Fickell, though in his first year as head coach, understands and respects the rivalry.
I've known a lot about the university, and I've studied their football programs, but in particular their defense, as I was a young coach for the first 4 or 5, 6 years.
Wisconsin-Iowa kicks off from Camp Randall at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
You'll notice that some jewelry stores in the area are giving big, deep down discounts, as much as 60%. But you know what they're doing, don't you? They're just marking it up to mark it down. That's why for over 30 years, Chalmers Jewelers has offered you truth in pricing. You will always find great value on unique custom jewelry at Chalmers Jewelers. Truth in pricing is what it's always been.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
I've been dreaming about the West Coast. Found some places that I don't know. I see your signs for California. Trade the shade for something warmer. I've been dreaming about the West Coast.
Tausch, the Packers locker room will be open to reporters at 3:45. Matt LaFleur will speak to us at 4:30. I'm taking requests from you and Strofe. What do you want inquired about? What do you want people pressed on? Not to be confused with Preston Smith, who was covering, if you noticed, for one play, Devontae.
Strofe, did you hear that? That he was covering him?
No, I missed that. Does anybody have a video of that out on the internet somewhere?
I don't think it's available yet. They think they've hidden that under wraps. So, Jason, you always have your honey-do list. What's on the top of your list to ask Matt LaFleur?
Well, I have talked about what I think is happening offensively, and I do want to, I guess, press him, but try and get him to answer honestly. And I feel like, he has been really good for my questions this year in terms of expounding on his answers. I want to ask Matt LaFleur, do you feel like you're searching for what's going to work for your inexperienced quarterback and all the experienced pass catchers he's surrounded by? And
question, Jason.
How do you figure out the level of complexity that you need to use to, be effective against defenses, and the level of simplification to make sure guys know what the hell they're doing? I just think he's got a hard job.
I'd also like you to ask him, do you think you've gotten better on offense? From the Chicago game to now, have you improved and gotten better? Love to hear his answer.
Yeah,
I don't think they have.
Have they grown? Come on, I couldn't resist. We're almost out of time.
No, I don't mind it. I'm not going to throw a tantrum about it, but there is no doubt that we did not see that yesterday. Hey, there's better days
growth
ahead,
is hard
Packer
to see.
fans.
Yeah, kind of like when you plant all those hundreds of seeds. Sometimes it takes a while for them to sprout, and they're growing underneath the ground, and you just can't tell. That's it for us today. Thanks to Strofe for stepping in for Jesse. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day, and keep growing. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial.